MCG this afternoon. Richmond versus the Western Bulldogs, both with the one win on the board. And, of course, the Tigers with that round one draw. Massive 4 points on the line. Big names left out for the Tigers. Dusty returns, whilst the Bulldogs, they maintain the faith in their list that tossed the Lions last week. Barry Denner with you. Triple M team today is staggering. I'm not too sure how the company could afford to put them together. It's great to have Kate McCarthy here, not just because she's an AFLW All-Australian, but she's a fantastic person as well. G'day, Kate.
Barry, it's great to be here. Obviously, the weather not super great for this occasion, but I was hoping we'd get a dry game looking at the ground this afternoon, but the rain has just started to fall as the players make their way out onto the oval. But I think we're in for a good one. I think two teams that brought a lot of pressure last week. Tigers had a little bit of a dress rehearsal in these conditions against the Pies and couldn't get it done, whereas the Dogs brought the pressure and played a fantastic game against the Lions last week.
Well, most people know Chris Johnson as the three-time All-Australian superstar from the Brisbane Lions. Of course, 3 premierships as well in amongst that. But Jono is the only Australian that's been banned from travelling to Ireland. He'll talk about that later. G'day, Jono.
G'day, Baz. Good to be here. Yes, as Kate said, these teams really looking forward to this contest. Conditions. It's all about the conditions today. Who can handle these conditions quicker than the other team? So who can adapt quicker? But almost look at these two teams almost like a used car that have got a couple of pieces that have added into their vehicles at the moment. So we know what Taranto and Hopper are in there, and as well as for the Dogs. Lobb and Baker as well. So at the moment, they're all just not going on all cylinders at the minute.
Well, geez, they've thrown everything at us today because we've got the institution with us, the great Ashley Chua on the Red Zeds. G'day, Ash. Well, a couple of big ones for us to start us off.
Good afternoon, Baz. Well, Tigers, good record against the Bulldogs of late. They've won 4 out of the past 5, having won their past 3 against the Bullies by an average winning margin of 34 points. For the Bulldogs, challenge for them or a concern is their offence. Their scoring capacity has fallen by 5 goals per game from last season. They've dropped from 88 points to only 58 for this year. But Ed Richards, he's been a shining light, third-rated player at the Bulldogs, averaging career-high disposals at 26 per game. Equal first in the AFL for loose ball gets and third in the comp for intercept possessions.
Well, Ash, calling the game this afternoon is a man who was an average-sized kid, and late in his teens he just shot up height-wise, Jono, really shot up. And used to be just Tim, and then they started calling him Big Tim. Big Tim Solly, how are you?
Well, it's been a big off-season, Barry. I'm starting to make Shaquille O'Neal look very small, I tell you, Baz. It's getting very big.
Nothing to worry about there, Tim.
No, good to be here, Baz. Looking forward to this one. Interesting to hear Chua say that the Tigers have won the last 3 because out of their last 20 encounters, the Dogs have actually beaten the Tigers 12 times and 1 draw. So if you look in the short-term history, Baz, the Dogs like lining up against the Tigers.
What are your thoughts this afternoon, Kate and Jono? I mean, both sides set up, you'd think, fairly close on paper. Do you think one's more outstanding than the others in your eyes?
I think the back line for the Tigers might have their hands full a little bit this afternoon with the likes of, obviously, Grimes and Bolter, very experienced defenders, but then they've got Tyler Young, who's another key defender, but he's only played 2 games for the club, so that's an area that I think if they can look to exploit it, obviously Norton, Lobb, and Ugle-Hagan, who's coming off the 5-goal game last week against the Lions, I think that's an area, if they can put it all together, that's an area they can exploit. However, the weather doesn't really help key leading marking targets for the forward line, does it, Jono?
No, it certainly doesn't, and that's what the Tigers are going to do. They're going to try and stretch this defence tonight, this afternoon. But what I'm really looking forward to, seeing whether this midfield of Treloar and Liberatore and Bontempelli and Smith can back it up again against a quality opposition in the Lions. They didn't come to the fore last Thursday night, but I'm looking forward to see how this midfield of the Bulldogs actually shape up tonight.
Triple M footy prime time for Jim Beam. It's been a quick preview. It's said to be an epic match, and that's worth raising a Jim Beam. Drink responsibly. Mickey Roberts, Bob Jane, T-Marts is on the boundary.
Yeah, it's wet. Geez, we had some rain where I was down the farm. I thought the Dogs were going to float out of the mud room, but Nan Curvis has won the toss. The Tigers going to the city end. As we know, Dusty's back and Hopper. Left out Revolt. Cochin's a sub. Mitch Hannon a sub for the Western Bulldogs. I'm going for the Tigers because Dusty's back. I reckon they'll swing off the back of his coattails. Good luck to the Tigers, and the Dogs it'll be a close one, I reckon, Baz.
The voice of Triple M footy, Mickey Roberts, Bob Jane, T-Marts have a great buy through, get one free deal, plus instant cash back. Call or order online today. T&Cs apply. Big Tim to kick us off this afternoon at the G.
Early tap here from English. Treloar, he's taken early by Nan Curvis. So we'll do it all again right next to the centre circle for McDonald's and Ream Hot Water. Triple M rocking footy on Easter Saturday. Ball in the air. English down. Liberatore out the back door to Dale. He snaps around his left shoulder to half forward. The spoil came from Baker. Smith at ground level, couldn't pick up the wet pill. Bit of rain falling here at the G this afternoon as Pickett floats one down the line, and it's chopped off by the Bulldogs defence in Dale. Out of bounds on the outer wing.
Early matchup. Grimes has taken Ugle-Hagan, so down the back. So you've got the two number twos from both clubs going together, and obviously Ugle-Hagan kicking 5 goals last week.
And another one down the other end. Liam Jones has got the early matchup on Dustin Martin as well.
Triple MC by super special comments. Kate McCarthy, Chris Johnson this afternoon. Quick kick towards half forward. And it's good. Ryan traps it for the Bulldogs. Little hand pass goes out towards Scott. Kick towards full forward. Ugle-Hagan one out. Ball bounces past him into the deep forward pocket. It's still inside play. Dives on top of it off his hands. It goes out of bounds right up against the point post at the punt road end for the Doggies in this first term. Seconds into the first quarter.
That's where Ugle-Hagan's got to use his agility a bit more rather than his strength. He's not going to be as strong as Grimes. He's got to use his agility and his smarts.
So ball in, Nankervis versus Norton. Norton tries to muscle his way to the front. Liberatore had it knocked out of their hands. Prestia on the ground, mopping up McRae. Wants to get back on the silky left. Partly cut off. Hopper. Handballs to Prestia. And the handball to Baker. He just scrambles one out D50. And he's put it on the chest of Richards.
Yeah, straight onto his chest. He's just forward of the wing broadcast side for the Doggies. And he looks again to search inside forward 50. Pops it to about 30 from home. Lob's caught out of the contest. Front and square is Liberatore. Runs it along the ground from 25. And puts it through to the right for a behind. First score of the match. Doggies 1 point. The Tigers yet to score. Triple M Beacon Trade scoreboard.
Beautiful front and square from Libba there. Ugle-Hagan did everything right. Had a nice jump at the ball. Brought it to the ground. Probably should have scored there, Libba.
Marlon Pickett at left half back. Long penetrating ball down the line. Lynch will like this situation. Ball sits for him now. Keith on his hammer though. He coughed the ball up on as far as Bolton. He did well to keep that in. Lynch has run on here. Gets it back up to Bolton. A snap towards goal from the pocket. And it was way too skinny. Bounces out of bounds in front of the Ponsford stand.
First entry for the Tigers. It looks dangerous. It looks like they want manic football. That's what they want. That's where they're at their best, when there's a manic opposition and they can't really sort of get some structure. And when they got players just flowing through, that's where they're most suited.
Both with a win. As Dusty Martin sharks it off the deep left forward pocket, then he's tackled, lost it. Bailey Dale, little hand pass, Bontempelli runs into the tackler and he's going to be pinged. And it was the big man in Lynch who'll go back and have a shot from only about 35 metres out, 45-degree angle.
So uplifting when your big man is actually trying to keep the ball inside your forward 50, and if he gets one earlier, that it actually looks around now to the smaller guys who are there. That's their job. Their job is to keep the ball in, tackle, pressure up, and when you see your big man doing it, it's uplifting.
7 goals for the season so far for Big Tommy. And Lynch to the city end of the ground at the MCG, to the right of our broadcast position. He sets up, drop punt, 45 out. He gets under it a little bit, but it's straight. Tigers with a first major, their one straight goal. The Bulldogs one behind. That's on the Triple M Beacon Trade scoreboard. Beacon Trade, it's here to partner with your business with a huge range of lighting, fans and electrical accessories. Beacon Trade, let's make light work.
Well, exactly what you said, Jono. A fantastic tackle from Tom Lynch. Not only was it a great tackle, but it was on the man that's very hard to tackle, Marcus Bontempelli. Tried to get the arm free to place the fend on the chest of Tom Lynch. Used his body so well, got nice and close to him so he couldn't fend off, and then just grabbed the ball and knocked it out. So really strong work, and even better finished it off with a goal. So great start for Lynch. He's always a dangerous player when he gets early confidence in a game, so this could be danger signs there for the Dogs.
Back in the middle for McDonald's and Ream Hot Water, Triple M rocks footy. English won the tap, Taranto under pressure. Tried to find his old Giants teammate in Hopper. Coming through McRae, did well. Chalor by hand to Liberatore. High left foot ball inside 50. Norton coming out. Did well to affect the spoil, but Baker cleans up and sends it down the line. Mansell fell to his feet. And Richards seeks comfort in the boundary line in front of our man down there, Mickey Roberts.
Toby.
So we've travelled almost 5 minutes in this first term. Richmond 1 goal straight 6. Dogs just the one behind on the Triple M Beacon Trade scoreboard.
Spins back in on the wing. Nankervis, it'll tap down, but again Liberatore sharks for the Bulldogs. Rush kick as he's being tackled. And a play got a shove in the back in the contest. And that was Jones. And Arthur Jones will get the free kick about 55 away from the Bulldogs' goal. He's about 15 inside the boundary. Went for the hot spot. The kick just off the side of the boot. You could see it sort of slew away. And Graham marks at half-back for the Tigers. Kicks back to the wing. Lynch up, 2-on-1 against him. Couldn't mark, goes at ground level. He's wrapped up in a gang tackle. Stands in the tackle. The umpire to ball it back up on the wing.
Bit of rush blood there for AJ there, Arthur Jones. Just a young play. He's seen the first bit of movement that he's seen up forward and he went to. He's just got to bide his time a little bit and be a little bit more patient going forward.
Dusty had a fresh airy. Daniel scrapping for it at ground level. It's dragged back in. Got to be careful. Bontempelli on top of all that. We'll have a ball up on this broadcast wing, right on the Toyota logo.
Cody and Tim, yep.
It's good to see AJ out there, though, isn't it, Jono, with Cody Waitman out of this side. Just a bit of spark up forward for the Dogs.
I thought he was still doing a lap on at Marvel. He finished that, has he?
He was very excited. As Richards, centre wing, handball Williams, comes back out wide to Daniel. They love the ball in his hands as he treads the boundary line and spears it. Norton, the late spoil came. And now at ground level. Oh, well done, Clark. Handball's inboard for Dusty. He'll get the 1-2, but he's claimed by Treloar. Ball came loose. Numbers here with the Dogs. Dale goes back for Keith. From a standing start, it's a burning ball underneath. Norton flies. And now at the spill, Treloar had to sit and wait. He handballs now wide for AJ. Snap around his left shoulder inside 50. Lob in a one-on-one. Did well, Grimes. Lob will follow up, though. Well done, big man. And now crashing through. They've got the numbers here. A little back turn was creative, and they're out here, the Tigers.
Presti will mark on the wing. He's got the player on the overlapping Clark. He's going to go by hand and then swept the 20-metre hand pass further on. Gave it to Sonsi, back to Clark. Low drop punt inside forward 50. Well read, Johannesen. Came in for the spoil, claimed the footy himself. Rush kick, though, bounces into the arms of Presta in front of the members. Half forward for the Tigers. Richards comes in to clean up for the Bulldogs and does well. Little short pass and Williams marks.
Huge defensive effort from Jason Johannesen there to get back. That was not his opponent, Tom Lynch. He just floated in front of him. It was going to be a mark straight in front on the chest. Well done. Saved a certain shot on goal.
Queen to Triple M footy. Kate McCarthy on the Seabus Supers. Seabus Super making hard work pay off as Norton goes down the line. Searching for Smith, but it was wide. Out of bounds. 60 from the Dogs home. Punt road end of the ground. 7.5 gone first term. Richmond 1 goal straight 6. Doggies yet to find a major. Just the one behind. As they take their time here at the setup. Ball spins back in now. Nankervis at the front. Got a little paw on it, but Bontempelli front square. Handball to Dale. He ducks back inside. Then sends a driving ball to the top of the square. Dangerous moments. Lob! Snaps towards goal and it's there! Not sure he got every piece of it on the boot, but it didn't matter. He tumbled it end on end through for the first major for the Dogs. They're 1-1-7. Richmond 1 goal straight 6. Triple M Beacon Trade scoreboard. Beacon Trade is here to partner with your business with a huge range of lighting, fans and electrical accessories. Beacon Trade, let's make light work.
The reason why they got a goal there comes back to the stoppage. Better organised, the Bulldogs. They had a +1 at the contest. So did Richmond. Richmond had their +1 inside the contest. They had someone sitting out the back, which was Bailey, sort of just Dale waiting out there, ready for that handball receive. You can't allow a player of his quality to be outside, to be that release player. You'd rather stick with him. But he got it in long and deep, got out the back. Defenders, you can't afford to let the ball over the back. You must kill it.
Inside 50s, 6-2 the Bulldogs' way.
For McDonald's and Ream Hotwater, Triple M rocks footy. Kick off the ground out of the centre. McComb marks at half forward. A little low drop punt to about 30 out for the Bulldogs. Lob up again, doesn't mark. This time the ball wrestled away from him. Ground level Floston, rush kick. Just outside defensive 50. Nankervis won't get there. And Bailey Dale comes in and marks on his chest. So he's marked right on forward 50 at the punt road end for the Doggies.
He could have the journey here, Baz. He's a lovely kick.
Well, if you're backing him in, Jono, so am I. So Dale settles with a footy and starts to walk in. He'll drop it onto his boot about 55 out. In fact, he pulls the kick. He's gone to Big Tim in the right forward pocket. And that's not Solly, that's English. And he marks about 25 metres out on a 45-degree angle.
Really well read there. He saw he had the mismatch on the opponent. Tim English had him for size and just put it to his advantage there. Bailey Dale, a fantastic kick to your, I guess, ruck floating back that's playing that key forward roll out of the square too.
So English settles and starts to walk in. He'll kick from about 35 metres out. Drop punt, punt road in, half post heights, good. Nice start for the doggies. Tigers get the first, the Dogs get the next two. They're 2-1-13, Richmond 1 straight goal, 6. Triple M Beacon Trade scoreboard, 10.5 first term.
Well, the goals have both gone down for the Bulldogs to the lob and both to Daniels as well at the same. Well, Daniels being able to enter the ball in there, but I think it's more English there that kicked that goal. That it all comes back to the way Bailey, Dale, I'm getting my words mixed up here. Merge-wixed. That's what you call it, merge-wixed. Bailey Dale, his use of the ball going forward is just electrifying. And that's not an easy thing to do where you're lining up for goal, you're coming in as an approach, and then all of a sudden you take a couple of steps and you're just being able to pull that kick in the last second. Superb delivery. 7
clearances to 2 in the Bulldogs' favour, and the man that's had the most of those is Tom Liberatore, 5 disposals and 3 clearances.
McDonald's and Remont Water, Triple M Rocks footy, Dusty. High clearing kick out of the middle, inside 50. Back with a flight, Jones. Sweeping on it, Sonsi. Got a left foot to the ball, but trickles out of bounds, left forward pocket. 11.5 gone first term. Bulldogs 2-1-13, Richmond 1 goal straight 6. Triple M Beacon Trade scoreboard. As the players are set here, sitting into the ground, attacking end for the Tigers. Ryan in the ruck this time. The young man goes to the front. Taranto dropped it to the deck. Got booed to ball. Lynch kept his feet. He doubles back. But then he's just knocked over the line for a minor score. They're 1-1-7 now, the Tigers. Bulldogs 2-1-13. Triple M Beacon Trade scoreboard.
Dale runs out of full back, straight up the ground with a low drop punt to Bontempelli. Had to mark. There were 3 Tigers around him. Didn't. Good work from Arthur Jones just to hold him up as he barged into the pack. And the umpire will grab the footy and ball it up at the centre of the MCG. 12 minutes first term, big numbers, Ash.
Well, the inside 50s for the Bulldogs. They've already racked up 8 entries. They're only averaging 11 per quarter this year, ranked 18th.
Triple M Reds headlanding stats as the Dogs go forward again. Kick the centre half forward. Norton caught behind. Footy on the deck, a race for the ball. Baker got there first. Nice hands to Rioli. Rioli to McIntosh. Game 150 on the wing. Little short one over the top to Clark is good about 25 metres further on. 85 from home. Low drop punt to half forward. Caleb Daniel read that beautifully and marks on defensive 50 for the Doggies.
Almost made a meal of it. Jones back to Daniel. Too much on the kick. Baker mops up and then falls to his belly, and then the handball cut off. Well done there by Scott. But he couldn't paddle it in the field of play. Out of bounds left half forward here for the Dogs.
That's twice now that kick going inside 50 has been turned over right on what we call the trampoline zone. Really easy for the team that does intercept it to go back the other way. That time it was a skewed kick from Daniels that didn't quite pay off, but he was the man to get back and help out in defence.
So ball in. Sampson in game 3. Taps down to Bontempelli. Daniel by hand out wide to Smith. A bit of time and space. He wobbles one on the left. Chaos ball won't work. McComb couldn't get hand the ball. Dangerous moments, but Baker again. He just belts it out to the open space. Not sure that was the option. Slippery pill for Dale. He picks up, puts it back to the top of the square. Lob. Had a Falcon. Now at ground level, Williams fell to a knee. Handballs it back. Bontempelli back to Daniel from 35. Quality finish by the Bulldogs. They made hard work of it. But at the end of the day, they get another major. 3-1-19. The Tigers 1-1-7. Triple M Beacon Trade scoreboard.
I think they're just making better decisions with the ball in hand at the moment, the Dogs. It was a bit sloppy, as you called, Timmy, but I think the ability to actually just keep feeding the ball back and from another clearance, getting that ball inside that forward 50 a little early, about 30 seconds before that. Again, they're +1 at that stoppage, Kate. They're actually just using it better. They're not going forwards, they're actually going backwards, and then they're allowing to spread as well, and then they've got numbers running forward, which is fantastic, and that's what's allowing them to be on top at the minute.
Maggie Roberts, Bob Jane teammates.
Yeah, I know we've got blue sky above us now, but I just look out to my right and it's dark as. So lights are on, heavy ground. They've just got cleaner hands, the Dogs, at the moment.
They have. Bob Jane teammates have great buy 3, get 1 free deals plus instant cash back. Call or order online today. T's and C's apply. For McDonald's and Ream Hot Water, Triple M rocks footy. Bulldogs out of the centre, wide kick towards McComb on the outer side wing. He's got 3 Tigers against him and won't win that one. Dusty Martin, clever hands. Now a kick just forward of the wing to Pickett on his toes. Had to bend down, pick it up. Tackle late. He's given a bit of latitude though. Hopper's got it by hand. He's caught and he threw the footy away due to the tackle. Bontempelli, the tackler.
Clearance is a real concern at the moment. Ash, what are they in the Bulldogs' favour?
Yeah, 10-4 Bulldogs way.
So on the Triple M Red Z Lending Stats, loan for the self-employed, redz.com.
Play on.
As the Bulldogs now at left half back, Keith. Left football spearing. Working his way to the front, clever bolter. Caught one in the back from Norton. So they'll reload here from half back, the Tigers. Halfway through this first term. As Bolter decides to drive a long drop punt down the line. The nest forms. Spore came Jones. We've got a player down behind play, and Keith, he might have caught one across the melon in that contest.
Yeah, Lynch just didn't even look at the ball, just went straight through him and cleaned him straight up because he was that spare man just sitting in that hole where he wanted to lead into.
So on the Harvey Norman replay, Super Easter sale on now. Shop store wide deals. Hurry, ends Monday.
Well, another ball up here on the wing. And as Jono said, Keith's got up, he's okay. But a real crunching contest. Tap down to Bailey Smith. We've got about 12 players around the footy here on the wing. He lost the footy. Nankervis just kicked it off the ground out of the congestion. Cumberland picks it up at half forward. Tried to get it over by a hand to Clark. The hand pass was too long. Johannesson came in, claimed it. Little hand pass to Baker for the Bulldogs. His kick was touched from half back. It bounces to the wing outer side of the ground. Vlosten, back of the pack, will claim it. Looks for an option by hand. He went for Baker for the Tigers, and Baker for the Bulldogs right with him. Slapped it out of his hands. Little shuffle out the side of the pack again. Tigers still in control. Vlosten with the footy. Sweeps out a hand pass to Cumberland. That's one smothered by Caleb Daniel. The ball's on the deck again. Still on the wing. Rioli goes back onto it. Now a kick out of congestions to the centre. Clark's on his own in the middle for the Tigers and can set up.
Left foot ball inside 50. Lynch! Just got a little bit of separation on Jones, and he plucks the mark 40 metres out, directly in front.
The two things that you need in wet weather football, you need to be clean, which Robbo said before that the Dogs are. The Tigers just a little bit not too clean at the moment, but you've got to be predictable to your teammates at the moment, and you don't try and do the miracle things. A couple of times now, Cumberland has tried to do the miracle things where he's been caught undone.
He started well, Big Tom. He kicked one at the 3-minute mark. This for his second for the first term. Leans back. He's got his second. High fives all around for Tom Lynch as they peg back the margin. They're 2-1-13. Dogs 3-1-19. Triple M Beacon Trade scoreboard.
Yeah, well, it all came over the other side that actually the Bulldogs defenders had worked really hard to turn over the ball again. It was Johannesson that got it on the top of 50, handballed out to Baker, and he looked up and there was absolutely no Bulldogs forwards that had connected and worked over to the far side. He had to kick to a 2-on-1, which then caused the turnover for the Tigers. It was extremely scrappy, well called. Baz went back and forth a long way and was down on that wing for a long time, but they ended up making hay while the sun shined and then got it into Tom Lynch, who did the rest of the work, but he has started really well. 2 goals in the first quarter. Hard man to keep down when he's up and about.
For McDonald's and Ream Hot Water, Triple M rocks footy, ball thrown in the air in the centre of the ground. It is Prestia, got boot to ball. Tigers with a clearance. Mansell tapped down towards Hopper, who kicks inside forward 50. Ball punched away. Cumberland goes out. It got tackled, dragged down to tackle. The umpire said it was a throw. Then he released the ball. Crozier, the tackler, gets it at half back for the Bulldogs. So the Tigers bite back. Little short pass to Oscar Baker. He's in front of the members, kicks back here to the wing. Ugelhagen in front of a massive pack. They sit on his head, slap back to the front. Pickett's got a little bit of space and hand passes to Baker on the wing on the boundary, kicks it out in the full. It'll be a free kick to the Dogs. In front of the members at half-back, Crozier to take it.
Put on the line now.
That was Liam Baker. There's Oscar Baker.
There is.
Just looking for the butcher and the candlestick maker, Barry.
Thank you, Tim. Some real gold there.
As Crozier spits it inboard, finds Dale. Wants to go across the defensive goal face now. Richards. All on his Pat Malone. Takes a bounce in the wet. And then sends a left foot ball to the outer side. That's a beautifully weighted ball. Finds Bruce. Still at right half back here, the Dogs. As he chisels a short one, Joshy. Finds JJ. And he nurses another short ball to Williams, who's creeping forward in 2023. He just stops and props. Not a lot of movement ahead of him. So he has to go the short option. You heard the umpire. Has to play on here, JJ. Gets the wheels on. Sends a long right foot ball towards English. Good ball came from the side, Bolter. And then the tackle by Liberatore was ferocious
Huge tackle.
on Baker, and he's rewarded. He loves taking the game on, Liam Baker, but you do not take on Liberatore.
Jeez, I felt that up here. That was a huge hit from Libba. Had prior opportunity to Baker, and he knew it. Great tackle. Libba now has to go back and finish this off.
Bit of a wry smile between the boys here too, Kate. He enjoyed that one, Tommy. So he's going to have to hit this one. Slide angle, about 40 metres out. Low, flat. Goal umpire doesn't move. Liberatore hits the board, and the Dogs move to 4-1-25. The Tigers 2-1-13. Bob Jane team march Mickey Roberts.
Yeah, there's some movement down here because Keith was cleaned up by Lynch. Now, Tommy Lynch, he's sneaky good at it. He takes out a few, clipped him in a marking contest. So Keith's off the ground. Doctors are looking at videotape now. They're really assessing this. He got cleaned up mid-air, mid-flight in a marking contest. So he's off the ground, Keith, just under supervision at the moment.
Triple M Red Z, just some low numbers here for the Tigers. Hopper 3, Taranto 2, averaging 30 this year in Bolton, just the 2.
Triple M Red Z landing stats with Ashley Chewett for McDonald's and Remont Water. Triple M Rocks Footy. Don't forget, score points and redeem rewards when you order Mac delivery via the My Macca's app. I do every day. Available in select locations only. Exclusions and fees apply. See an app for details. For McDonald's and Remont Water, Triple M Rocks Footy. Kick out the centre for the Dogs again. Long ball to half forward. Offhand spills to Baker. Rush kick will fall in the arms of Prestia. Hand pass to the wing to Bolton, who ran into Bailey. Dale. And Dale, a beautiful tackle, will get the free kick on the wing in front of Robbo, Mickey Roberts.
Yeah, it's grown legs. Keith into the rooms now with the doctor for that 15-minute concussion test. Mitch Hannon warming up just as a precaution, so they'll have to make a switch if that contest is... Sorry, if that concussion test goes against him.
Mickey Roberts all over it downstairs, as he always is. The others are scratching their head. Mickey with the news fresh. The ball's back here on the wing. Dusty Martin. Hand pass to McIntosh in game 150. High kick to half forward for the Tigers.
Ryan has to beat a couple. The spoil came at the spill pressed here. He's got Ralph Smith from 49. It's a long-range bomb. But it's out to the left-hand side. So Tigers 2-2-14. Dogs 4-1-25. Triple M Beacon trade scoreboard.
That mullet of his just goes to a whole nother level when it's wet, doesn't it? That is filthy in the rain.
The midfield of the Dogs are going really well at the moment. Bontempelli, he's had the 7 possessions. Liberatore's had 7 as well, and they've both had 4 clearance each.
Triple M Seabus Super special comment. Seabus Super making hard work pay off. Chris Johnson and Kate McCarthy this afternoon. As Bailey Dale has marked at half-back, Ash. She's had a bit of it in this first term.
Number 1 ranked player, 9 disposals, 200 metres gained.
Confident enough to kick it across the goal. He's defending to Johannison, who runs away from half-back. He took 2 bounces. What's the whistle for?
Downfield, Baz pushing the back. Just watched it on the Harvey Norman replay. There was a massive push in the back after Johannison disposed of the ball against Cumberland.
So English got the free kick on the wing and kicked over the top 35 metres to Lobb, who marks boundary side in front of the Great Southern Stand. Lob kicks to full forward. Ugle-Hagan caught behind again, spills to the back, and Prestia bombs it away out of the danger zone for the Tigers.
Parked underneath Lob again. He wants to get on with it here, the big man. Just pops it over the top. Williams breaks the 50. Long ball to the top. That's where Norton flies. But it's a wet, greasy pill and through his hands. Minor score. 4-2-26. The Tigers 2-2-14. Triple M Beacon trade scoreboard.
Just their setup when they go inside 50 at the moment. The Dogs is killing the Tigers. They can't get the ball out of their own end.
So the Tigers work it quickly to the wing with a long kick to Dusty Martin. He marks, got the play running past in McIntosh. Broadcast side of the ground, a bouncing ball that goes past Graham. Ed Richards gets in the way, got a bit of work to do. Slaps it to Liberatore on defensive 50 hands. And Dusty Martin just came in and stole it off him. Underground hand pass to Hopper. Hopper across the face from 30. Has got a point for Richmond. 4-2 plays 2-3. It's the Bulldogs who lead. 15-26, 11 points up the Doggies. Triple M Beacon trade scoreboard.
You're right, Kate. It's just that forward entries for the Dogs at the moment. They look pretty good when they've got it all settled down, but when it's chaotic, they're not too sure how to go about hitting targets. So if they can get that down pat, because they're certainly dominating in the inside forward 50s.
Chris Johnson, Kate McCarthy on the Seabus Supers. Seabus Super making hard work pay off. As Lob has it on the outer wing now. He just handballs for space. Rioli pops up. The ball was good for Bolter. Now a tunnelling handball. Clark back to the big Nank. He just measures a careful ball. They'll build up here through the middle. Baker clean off the deck. Good in the wet. His handball partly cut off. Liberatore went past the pill. Here is the Mississippi mudflap in Rousmith. He goes wide. McIntosh through his fingertips. He just paddles it to advantage. Can't pick the pill up. He knocks it out towards Dusty though. Treads the boundary and then tummels one. Off the chest to Liberatore. Well done, McIntosh. They're going to get it back inside 50 the Tigers. Bolton flies. At the front and centre there was Hopper. Tumbling towards goal. Did JJ get a paw on it? He did. Minor score. 2-4-16. The Dogs 4-2-26. Triple M Beacon Trade scoreboard.
Pressure from the Dogs just creating chaos at the moment for Richmond. If it's not there, the pressure, it's the perceived pressure because of how hot they've been early. The Tigers just really fumbly, clumsy, not playing these conditions as well as the Dogs, and I think that's because of the pressure they've brought.
And the Tigers just not getting the ball in there quick enough, just trying to muck around with that handballing around the middle of the ground. When you've got Lynch down there, you've got to get it in quick to him.
Oscar Baker took a mark in the deep back pocket, kicks a long ball towards half forward. Hugo Hagan slaps it down. Arthur Jones claims it, runs away from the pack for the Doggies. Kicked off the ground by Young. Out of bounds on the full for the Tigers. Choice hotels around the grounds. Ash, what happened earlier today?
Earlier today, the Crows defeated the Dockers by 39 points, 7-8-9, 111 to Freo, 10-12, 72 Walker with 4 majors.
And where are we heading tonight, Ash, for Saturday night footy?
Yeah, we've got St Kilda taking on the Suns as at Marvel Stadium, and also Sydney versus Port Adelaide up at the SCG.
Two big games. There's a 50-metre penalty here. The Dogs chipped it in. We didn't see what the 50 was for, anybody, so it'll be McRae, boundary side, Mickey Roberts, Bob Jane teammate.
Yeah, I was stalling a little bit before because they were contemplating whether they're going to make the switch. I reckon it's been done now. So Mitch Hannon into the contest. Keith has failed that concussion test downstairs. Got cleaned up by Tom Lynch. So the first sub has been made.
Good on you, Mickey. Terrific work from you and Chris Johnson, who spotted that early. McRae will shoot for goal from 35 after the 50-metre penalty and kick it. That hurts. If you're a Tiger, it's pleasing for the Dogs. 5-2-32 they are. Richmond 2-4-16. We're 27 and a half minutes into the first term here on the Triple M Beacon Trade scoreboard.
Some undisciplined acts at the moment for the Tigers, just not doing it, getting inside forward 50s, and they just probably need to do a couple of things where Graham on the Harvey Norm replay just stood over the mark where the umpire called him back, and then it took McRae all the way in. I spoke about it in the pre-match, Kate, that it was all around their midfield, how the Dogs were going to be up and about in this game, and it's all been their midfield at the moment. They've had clearances all going their way at the moment in 6 to 11, all in the Dogs' way, so they're all over him at the minute. And
just one thing I think that might come under scrutiny after this match is that bump from Tom Lynch. I know it was a marking contest, but you said it on the call, Jono. He had no eyes on the footy, so is that a time where he's elected to bump? I think yes. And obviously with him going off with concussion, Keith, he might be in trouble, Tom Lynch.
Chalor with the centre clearance. Norton drops the mark, but he butters back up. He's tackled though by Boston. Liberatore front centre. Liber's got his second. Sublime footy there by the Dogs. They got out of the middle. Liber was lurking at the front and square, and he made no mistake from 40 out. The Dogs 6-2-38, Tigers 2-4-16. Triple M Beacon Trade scoreboard. 6-goal quarter by the Dogs. This is a great start. They're really putting the scoreboard pressure on them. What we've seen in the trends of games, it's normally these type of scenarios or these periods where teams put on an enormous amount of scoreboard pressure that the other team can't come back, Kate. And at the moment, what we're talking about is the midfield, but what Liber's doing at the moment, he's getting forward.
Yeah, and that's the best quarter for the season so far for the Bulldogs. The 6 goals, but it's all coming from clearances. Another centre clearance there that went straight forward into a goal.
For McDonald's and Ream Hotwater, Triple M rocks footy, ball thrown in the air. The ruckman tap it virtually to their toes. And now a scrimmage. Who's going to get it out? Ball still in dispute. McRae got it out. Dusty Martin was waiting for it. He got tackled, but clean hands to Nankervis. Big Nank took a while to get it to his boot. Allowed the spoiler in. Nank goes back on it, tried to kick it off the ground, the centre of the MCG, and missed it. Liberatore didn't. Clean hands to Big Tim English. The big ruckman tries to get boot to ball. He's dragged off it. Arthur Jones went at it, pushed it out the side. Now they're a chance to Dogs. Bonton Pally, hand pass to Bailey Smith. Didn't see Clark, the tackler, coming. And Clark will be rewarded for the Tigers with a free kick about 30 metres from the goal he's defending. Geez, the Dogs are on there again.
That's just a great tackle, because what you can do there by Clark, you can overcommit, and that can be a missed tackle quite easy.
This kick not his best. Outside 50 off the turf, Richards.
Well, it hasn't been best all afternoon, actually, Clark. He's been doing some great stuff, but he's finishing at the moment. Just needs to go up another couple of notches.
It's a ball up. 55 out from the Dogs' goal. Then Curvis tried to grab it out of the ruck. Greasy peeled through his mitts. Then diving on top of it was Bailey Smith. Out to Bontempelli, feeds it wide. Here is Smith from hard up on the boundary. Opts for the left boot. And to the near side. Minor score. 6-3-39. The Tigers 2-4-16.
You say greasy pill there, Big Tom. Tim, not Tom. Big Tim. It looks like at the moment, though, they're playing with two different footies. The Tigers so fumbly, can't pick up a ball cleanly, and the Dogs just super clean underfoot.
Long kick to the wing for Richmond. Bolton off hands. Tries a sweeping hand pass inboard that worked okay. Another one was snuck out to Big Tommy Lynch, and it slipped through his fingers, went to ground. Now we've got a pylon. And on the wing, the umpire to ball it up again.
This type of conditions, you've got to flatten your hands a little bit more now. Like, you can't be snatching at it. But first thing is first in these conditions. Don't think about what you're going to do after you've got the ball. Get the ball in your hands, then worry about it.
23 points up, the Bulldogs at quarter time here at the MCG. 6-3-39, plays 2-4-16. Chris Johnson, Kate McCarthy in the house. For McDonald's and Room Hot Water, Triple M rocks footy.
That quarter for Beacon Trade. Beacon Trade's here to partner with your business with a huge range of lighting, fans and electrical accessories. Beacon Trade, let's make light work.
For McDonald's,
Triple M rocks footy.
Score points and redeem rewards when you order McDelivery via the My Macca's app. Available in select locations only. Exclusions and fees apply. See in app for details.
Hi, it's Marty Sheargold from Triple M's Marty Sheargold Show, and right now, Triple M rocks football.
On the radio.
Max, go on. What was your junior footy club?
Ormond.
Ormond. O-R-M-O-N-D. I always struggle with that word. It's like the same as I struggle with almonds.
Yeah.
Ormond.
Is that why you asked me, even though it was on the sheet?
It wasn't on the sheet. It's the only bit that's not here.
Triple M's Marty Sheargold Show. Weekdays from 6 on Triple M. Get the podcast now from the Listener app.
Score an adventure at Bottle Mart.
Babe, we never do anything fun anymore.
Adventure, you say? If you purchase Jack Daniel's Tennessee Whiskey 700ml for $49.99 or Jack Daniel's and Cola 4.8% 10-pack for $47.99, we can win a trip to Las Vegas for the Formula One.
Fast cars, fine dining and fun. I'm on my way there now.
Oh, wait, can you also pick up a 24-pack of Carlton Dry for $47.99?
Let me guess, the boys are adventuring over here tomorrow?
Adventure!
Bye, babe. Catalogue specials out now. Shop your way at bottlemart.com.au. T's and C's apply.
McDelivery has arrived on the My Macca's app. For a limited time, grab a free medium Big Mac meal when you spend $30 or more on your first McDelivery order via the app. Value means more at Macca's. Available for a limited time at participating restaurants. T's and C's apply. See an app for details.
Easter Monday on 9. The best Lego builders are back.
Welcome to Lego Masters Grand Masters.
Over 3 grand nights. Monday, Tuesday and Wednesday.
This is pretty wild.
The greatest creations. And an all-out battle.
These dirty copiers.
For Grandmaster glory.
You got grand tingles? I've got grand tingles.
New Grandmasters starts Easter Monday, 7:30 on 9 and 9 now.
It's road trip season right now at Repco, where you'll get a massive 20% off almost everything store-wide, plus 40% off selected products, in-store and online this Saturday only. Take the trip your car's been dreaming of, only at Repco. Exclusions apply.
Arm yourself this flu season with Amcal, your vaccination destination. With pharmacies Australia-wide, there's a participating Amcal near you, with expert pharmacists and private consultation rooms. To book your flu vaccination, search Amcal Flu.
At IGA, you'll find everything you need for Easter, like Australian extra-large tiger prawns, only $27.99 per kilo. Now at your local IGA. Offer ends April 11. Participating stores only. Excludes IGA Express and local grocer.
At Harvey Norman, get 60 months interest-free, no deposit finance from Latitude Financial Services and receive a bonus gift card up to $1,000. That's a bonus $100 gift card for every $1,000 you spend on interest-free purchases. Shop our huge range. Everything you need for your home and lifestyle with 60 months interest-free. No deposit, no interest with 60 monthly repayments. And receive a bonus gift card up to $1,000. T's and C's, fees, charges and product exclusions apply. Participating Latitude credit cards only. New customers must be approved. Minimum finance amount $1,000.
Hey, I'm Matt Corby. Wild Turkey have been making bourbon their way for almost 100 years, and by trusting their spirit, they've made the world's best tasting bourbon. That's why we've teamed up to mentor young musicians to trust their spirit and realise their dreams. Now we're travelling in the Wild Turkey Mobile Music Home to play live in an amazing wilderness location. To win tickets to this exclusive event, visit wildturkeybourbon.com. Wild Turkey, trust your spirit.
Over 18s only. Drink responsibly.
Shut up! The foot is on the radio!
Triple M rocks footy.
This quarter for Titanium Caravans. Tough on and off the field.
6 goals to 2 first term in the favour of the Bulldogs. They have a comfortable lead at quarter time. 23 points up over the Tigers. They're 6-3-39. The Tigers 2-4-16. With Ashley Chua here with the Triple M Red Z Landing stats, and Ash 23 points up. The Doggies in that first quarter, very impressive.
And so was the territory battle. 19 inside 50s to the Bulldogs, only 10 to the Tigers. That man Liberatore, number 1 ranked player, 9 disposals, 4 clearances and a couple of goals. For the Tigers, Bolton only 3, Taranto just the 2.
And what it comes back to, the pressure of the Dogs. They started it last week, and obviously the first couple of rounds hadn't gone their way, but the pressure around the source of the ball at the moment is really up and about. The defensive work is working well. They've actually scored 4 goals, 2 from turnover, which is fantastic result and a good return for your pressure. And I reckon that might be the blueprint for the rest of the game for the Dogs. Keep your pressure up, and you'll keep the scoreboard pressure on the Tigers, and the Tigers will start to panic, and they'll try and vent all these little handballs and stuff, and they'll end up turning the ball over again, and then the Dogs will come sweeping.
Yeah, and the pressure from the Dogs was hot there, affected the kicking efficiency. The Bulldogs going at 67%, Richmond just at 47%. So not only the pressure, they started hot, but that perceived pressure, once you bring it early in a game, players think that they have less time with the footy than they have, so puts them really under the pump. The other thing that's working well for the Bulldogs, their clearance is 14-6 in their favour. Big Tim.
We'll head down to the boundary quickly for Bob Jones T-Marts of great buy 3, get 1 free deals plus instant cashback. Call or order online today. T's and C's apply. Mickey Roberts, what's happening?
Well, Dimmer's ripped into the Tigers. Let's see how they go in this second term. But Keith, he's been subbed out. Mitch Hannon on. Lynch got him, and I tell you what, he was quite dazed, Keith. And they didn't take the full 15 minutes for the concussion test. They looked at video and they subbed him. I reckon he's been knocked out or concussed before too.
For McDonald's and Ream Hot Water, Triple M at Rocks Footy. We start the second term with the Bulldogs up by 23 points. Big Tim English grabs it out of the ruck, kicks the ball to half forward. The Dogs to the city end of the right of our broadcast position in this second term. Mark for the Tigers. It'll hand pass off to Prestiap. You'll get it back with the old 1-2. Runs towards the wing here, broadcast side. Hand pass to Rioli. Not going to break the tackle of the sub, Hannon, who's on the ground, as Mickey told us. And he lays a beautiful tackle for the Bulldogs and is rewarded with a free kick.
Ori, and that's what they're talking about, the Dogs, around the pressure. When you've got your sub coming off the bench and actually applying that pressure, that's uplifting.
Hannon long and deep. Norton has to beat a couple. Spore came from Grimes. Ground level. Baker opted for the bump. Ugle-Hagan couldn't break the tackle. They'll take the advantage here, the Tigers. Baker out towards Ryan. All 206 centimetres of him. He handballs back towards Hopper. Feigns a few handballs. And comes back inside on the 45. Oh, clever Dusty. Just slapped it to advantage for Taranto. He floats a high one. Tommy Lynch just took his foot off the accelerator. And Bontempelli will mop up. Back to Dale. And now JJ will clear the area.
He wants Oscar Baker, who marks beautifully. Had 2 Tigers running at him, eyes on the footy. And he marked comfortably. Little hand pass off to McComb, who goes to ground and dodges a tackle. Hand passes back to Lobb, who goes short to Ugle-Hagan. He marks about 75 metres out. Left foot drop punt from the young man. Goes to Norton in the air forward pocket. Doesn't mark. Few Tigers will be kick off the ground. Big Tim. English has done it again. Kicks his second goal for the Dogs, and the first of this second term. The Bulldogs 7-3-45. Tigers 2-4-16 on the Triple M Titanium Caravan scoreboard.
Well, when you're as tall as Tim English, what is the point at 208 centimetres of bending over and trying to pick it up when you can just soccer it off the ground like that? That was a great finish. Had pressure all around him, and the ball just sat nicely for him. Good finish. Not probably the spot you want to be as a ruckman, front and square, but he made it work anyway, Jono.
Yeah, one player that's really impressed me this afternoon is Oscar Baker. What are his numbers at the moment, Shoeman? Because he's really dominating out in that wing.
He's had 7 disposals, taken 4 marks.
And that's all you got to say about that, Ash?
There's been quality disposals, though, Tim.
Ash, not quite as impressed as Jono.
Very quick fire from you there, Tube. We're all expecting
I
more
was
out of
thinking
you.
about some extra colour and content, but put a bit of mayonnaise. But he's had a very good year, Oscar Baker, as a Bulldogs former Demon.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Very good cover-up for you, Tube.
Thank you.
As the ball's back up for McDonald's and Ream Hot Water, and then Curvis down. Trelaw, scrambly kick out of the stoppage. Bloston couldn't trap it. Rioli goes backwards, twisting and turning Hopper. Handball wide for Taranto. This way, that way. He got around Hannon. And then a right foot ball down the line. Box seat was Bolton. He'll take it on here. Sends a right foot ball. Ryan all on his lonesome. Thought about playing on, but the big man will go back for a shot from 10 metres out on a 45.
Smart from Bolton, just knew he had to turn and go. Saw Ryan exactly where he needed to be as that deep forward that's running that offside pattern, resetting to the goal square. Fantastic kick from Bolton, though. Great game awareness.
So the big man, he is a huge unit. 206 centimetres, 103 kegs, a skip and a hop. It's low and flat, and he gets the job done. Tigers get their third. They're 3-4-22. The Dogs 7-3-45. Triple M Titanium Caravan scoreboard. Titanium Caravans, tough on and off the field, just like this man, Chris Johnson.
Well, thanks, Timmy. That's Tigers football. Win it on half-back, turn it over, bring it into the middle, and then get your forwards out the back. That's certainly Tigers football all over. They try to make sure that they can move the ball quick, and as soon as they start moving that ball quick off half-back, their deepest forward will just run straight to the goal square, and they rely on their ability to get the ball deep and penetrate that forward 50, and they've always got a man out there running towards goal.
Difference between that and the last time they had it on the halfback. Way too many handballs in that first chain. That time, Taranto just took ownership, kicked the ball back inside.
For McDonald's and Ream Hot Water, Triple M Rocks footy. English, beautiful tap to Bontempelli, hand pass McRae, the Dogs straight out of the centre. Long ball to Norton, who marks 35 out and barrels into a Tiger, but he gets back up. He'll go back and have a shot, slight angle. Mickey Roberts, Bob Jane, teammates.
Drama for the Tigers, drama down here. Tom Lynch has brought himself off the ground and just walked straight down the race, straight into the rooms with the doctor and the medical kit, and Cochin told to warm up. So something's going on here with the Tigers.
Well, that is big news, as this important player as well in this match, Aaron Norton, is going to have a shot for goal at the city end of the ground. 45 out, left foot is good. About quarter post high, but it was enough, and the Bulldogs continue to impress. 8-3-51 to the Tigers, 3-4-22, 5.5 second term. Triple M Titanium Caravan scoreboard.
Doctor lingering as well after that contest between Norton. It was completely accidental. Baker was front and centre, and Norton got a little bit more of a push, which led his head to hit straight into the thigh of Liam Baker. Doctor's running away now, so he looks like he's happy with the response he's got from Norton.
Just on the Harvey Norman replay, just see the craft that the Dogs are able to create and give themselves space to get that clearance out. It was just superb. It was beautiful to watch. That'll be something that they're watching at the moment. The Dogs 7 and only Richmond 2 clearances at the moment. Bontempelli still has the 4.
Chris Johnson, that's on the Harvey Norman. Harvey Norman's Super Easter sale on now. Shop store wide deals. Hurry ends Monday.
Oh, it's superb.
As the Tigers with a clearing kick out of the middle for McDonald's and Ream Hot Water through the hands. Martin was the target, but Bruce cut it off. Richards around his body, but going back with a flight picket. 70 from home in front of the Shane Warne stand. He sends it to the punt road end now. Bruce through his mitts. Ryan was there. It was ground level ball for the big man as JJ. Handball wide for Richards. Hard up on the boundary. Drives one outside 50. Norton did well to compete, but Rioli front and square gets it up to Pickett from 60. A low flat bullet. Did well Bruce. Tried to trap it at ground level. English couldn't pick it up. Dusty claim. Ball loose. And now Bruce misses Scott. Diving on top of him. Cumberland. He releases the pill. Now Libba. Geez, it's pinging around at ground level. Taranto got it up for Hopper from the pocket. From the goalkeeper on the last line, Jones knocks it through for a minor score.
They're just scrapping the Tigers to get a shot on goal. Nothing's really working for them at the moment. They've got to try and create something, because now that Lynch is off, it seems to be that they've got no real target there or no real structure going forward.
Tigers 3-5-23, Dogs 8-3-51, Triple M Titanium Caravan scoreboard.
And how about the loss of Lynch with no Rewalt down there as well? That's a big loss, not having him in the team.
Yeah, spot on, Kate. So a big call made there. Triple M SEBO Super special comments. Kate McCarthy with Chris Johnson this afternoon. SEBO Super, of course, making hard work pay off. And a good call from Kate. It's going to be interesting now for the Tigers. Already under the pump. The ball's been worked towards half forward in regards to the Bulldogs, and it's punched out of bounds in front of the members.
Just the Bulldogs' goal-scoring efficiency. So they've been ranked 17th this year, only going at 17%. Well, today they're tracking at 35, which is 12 above the league average. 23 entries for 8 majors.
Triple M Red Z Lending stats with Ashley Chew. A boundary throw in. English, it'll tap down to the front of the pack. Trying to work it out was Williams. Pack of about 12 players, 6 on each here. Back of the pack, Taranto claims it. Defensive 50. Hand pass over the top to Baker. The ball will bounce close to the line, and Baker can't keep it in. And in front of the members again, we'll have another boundary throw in. About 65 around for the Dogs goal.
We talk about that forward line of the Richmond Football Club. Now, Samson Ryan, that's a massive responsibility on a kid that's only played a handful of games, so he's really got to lift. We know how big he is. We've seen him down at Casey in the leading up to the season. He was very, very good, but he's going to have his work cut out for him today.
Daniel at the crumb, through his legs, Hopper, coughed it up to Treloar. Off a step, just a high one inside 50. Oh, the big spore came through. Well done there, Tyler Young. Game 3 for that man. Playing for Frankston not long ago, and he finds himself on the big stage.
The big difference for me is the ball use at the moment. The Tigers just really overusing it by hand, and the Dogs just happy to gain territory and get it forward.
Footy spins in. Another opportunity presents for the Bulldogs, who are well on top of Richmond. Bailey Smith, hand pass Treloar, back to Smith. Hooks across his body under pressure, kick to the hot spot. Norton in front. Hands on the foot, he couldn't bring it down. Massive pack at ground level. Players standing. Tackles now, the umpire lets it go. Ball still on the deck, going to be shuffled out by Bontempelli, gives it to Caleb Daniel, he's gang tackled. Dragged to the ground and he's pinned, he's stiff.
He had nowhere to go. Bontempelli just sold him.
Absolutely sold him down the river on that one.
15, play on.
And the free kick for the Tigers, though, in shoes at halfback.
No paddle there as he goes outside 50, Baker. Bolter, creative, out of the air. Martin has to beat a couple, brought it to ground level. Bontempelli knocks it to space, picked up Cummel and did well. Prestia, loopy handball over the top for space. Mansell collects and then bullets it towards Ryan. He just panicked for a moment. Jones did well. The experienced head, and he pumps it outside 50.
Out of side wing, Bontempelli off hands, got a bit of space behind the pack. Nice drilling 25-metre drop punt. Lob goes to his knees and marks. Right foot ball, low again to the pocket. Norton the target, and he's smashed by Vlosten in the contest. Nankervis, little short ball to Ralph Smith, goes to his knees. Slides on the slippery grass and marks for Richmond. He runs outside halfback. 28 points in arrears, the Tigers of the Bulldogs. Bulldogs have started very well here. Kicks to Mansell, who marks on the wing out of side of the ground for Richmond.
Just massages one over to Pickett, who runs into the hole. That would have been about 7 metres, that kick.
The defensive act back there by Nankervis was fantastic. Getting back, he didn't get a spoil on it, but he was just pushing back with numbers and gave him the release out and the exit out.
So Martin's awarded the free kick, 60 from home. He looks to the top of the square now. Ryan gets a launch at it, but at the back, mopped up Richards. He's fanned this very wide, but time and space here for Hannon. All in his Pat Malone. He comes back inside on the 45. Smith.
Smart kick back in because there was absolutely no one ahead of the footy there for the Dogs.
Smith looks low and flat down the line now. Ugle-Hagan, 5 goals for that man last week. What was a statement from that young man. Been well documented how he was ridiculed by the crowd, but he's standing up in adversity as they build up now, the Dogs. Up to half forward, Bontempelli front centre, got it up to Norton. He handballs to AJ, has to pick it up now, did well. Gets it back for Williams. They retreat further by hand to McRae. And now a darting ball inside 50 through the hands of Rioli. Ground level crashing through Pickett. Liberatore at the bottom as always. He sucked it back in. And then Daniel gets there to help him out. And Ralph Smith will make sure that's a ball up, 45 out from the Dogs' goal.
They just look so dangerous going forward, the Dogs. They've got a number of options to go to.
About 20 around this footy. There's Nankervis. Slaps it down to Baker and a rush kick to Cumberland in the centre of the ground. Now it's an open forward line for Richmond. They go quick enough. But again, it's a bit of stop-start out of side of the ground. Taranto's got it on the wing.
They're getting numbers back, Baz.
Yes.
The Dogs are getting numbers back really, really quickly. It was Samson against at least 4 defenders for the Dogs. Ryan, rather.
So now Ralph Smith's marked in the centre. He's got to go long. Young Ryan's got to go. Flies in the air. Bolton off hands. Here's a snap. He's got it for Richmond. 20 from home. Punt road end. The Tiger Army up. Desperately needed goal. They go to 4-5-29. The Bulldogs 8-3-51. 12.5 second term. Triple M Titanium Caravan scoreboard.
Well, it was going to take something special that time. Ryan just did his job, brought the ball to ground. It was probably a 3-on-1 in the end, and he was able to compete really well with the 2 tools from the Bulldogs getting back to help. But Bolton, fantastic snap around the corner, hit the pack at pace, didn't break stride and kicked it off 2 steps.
Bob Jones, T-Mart's Robbo.
Lynch has just burst out of the rooms. He's been down there for a fair while. They've had 2 medical kits down there and the doctor. Really eager to come back on. There was real doubt because they got Cochin to warm up. But I reckon the big fella might be okay.
The McDonald's and Ream Hot Water, Triple M Rocks footy. Lob in the ruck this time. Paddles out towards McRae. On the up now for Smith. A long drop punt in the Norton direction. Couldn't pluck it. Front and square, Ugle-Hagan. Oh, it's a greasy pill. And he can't pick it up. Tackled by Bolter.
Taranto's starting to get busy, Tim. Only 2 touches in the first quarter, 6 in this term, but that man Bont, number 1 ranked player, 15 disposals and 7 clearances.
Triple M Reds headlining stats with Ashes. Sonsi tries to work it out a halfback for Richmond in front of the members. Dragged down the tackle. The umpire said, give it to me. So 32 points now. The lead for the Doggies. Make it 22 points. In front of the members. Grabbed out of the ruck by young Ryan for Richmond, who's at halfback. Little short ball to true centre halfback to Mansell, who Markson's got space. Where's he going to go? Long ball to half forward is good. Cumberland will mark onto his left boot from 45. And the Tigers have got 2 in a row. The Tigs back in business. 5-5-35 they are. The Bulldogs 8-3-51. Triple M Titanium Caravan scoreboard.
Well, that time it was just the speed of the ball movement coming out of the stoppage. All the forwards presented up at the footy, and then they kept the ball moving. Previously, they've held that up, which has given the Bulldogs defenders a chance to get back. It was Cumberland who just won a really good one-on-one with Josh Bruce, and then he finished it off, but put that all down to the speed of the ball movement from the Tigers coming out of their back line.
It's off the halfback again. They scored earlier where they had coming out of the back was Ryan at the back of the contest again. And the same thing, open goal front, open goal square. They're able to have pings outside 450. But if they can get that quick transition off halfback, that's where they're best suited.
McDonald's and Ream Hot Water, Triple M Rocks footy. They're going to get the clearance again. Here the Tigers. Prestia. The inside out, Boonana. Bruce comes through. Couldn't collect the pill. Ground level Scott. And now sliding in on top Graham. He handballs it out. The rush kick towards the big forward Lynch back on the park. And then going back Jones. Couldn't quite. They're under siege here, the Dogs. Crozier slaps out. It's only as far as Clark. And he makes them pay. Clark gets his first for the afternoon. They've got the last 3 majors, the Tigers, in 3 minutes. And they move to 6-5-41. The Dogs 8-3-51. Triple M Titanium Caravan scoreboard. Titanium Caravans, tough on and off the field.
Well, rare sight. A clearance for the Tigers and a goal. Normally it's all been coming off half-back or during a general play, but that was just super. They got it down there really quick. Lynch worked to try and bring the ball to the front, got pushed in the back. So a bit of a blue there by Jones on the Harvey Norton replay. Need to be really clean. Kept the ball alive. The small forwards, they're not overly big in their forward line this week, the Tigers, but their smalls are really doing the job at the moment, getting there and making sure they're at ground level to make sure they have a shot on goal.
Big change in pressure here for this quarter. Quarter 1 going at 196. The Bulldogs down to 163 this quarter.
For McDonald's and Ream Hot Water, Triple M Rocks footy. Tigers out of the centre. Bolton kick towards half forward again. 35 from home. Liam Jones In fact, it was big Josh Bruce with a bit of work to do. Brings it to ground level. Johannison, little toe poke out of the pack. Lob picks it up for the Bulldogs. Hand pass off to Bailey Smith. A high ball to the wing. Big fist on the footy from Grimes that sees the ball out of bounds, and the Tigers have got their tails right up at the moment.
I think the Bulldogs will be happy to concede a stoppage there. They've been under siege the last 3 or 4 minutes. The footy going all the Tigers' way.
They've got the crowd involved. That's what the Tigers need. They need the crowd involved, and the Tiger Army are up and about.
Sampson goes alone in the ruck. He's slapped down. Ralph Smith, bit of mud in the flap as he goes to Baker, slaps it out towards Graham. Tackle by Richards, did well. He's collected high, though, by the umpire off the play.
You can just see the wave of the Tigers players just sitting behind as they start get that ball momentum going forward. They're coming in waves.
Graham gave it off there to Young when it went through his mitts. They'll get it up inside 50 here, the Tigers. Numbers with the Dogs. Front and centre there was Cumberland.
Oh, he threw it out. He done an offload.
Busier than a one-up. As Bruce will fan wide to Crozier. Sloppy had to pick it up on the bounce, and outside 50, Scott takes it at left half back.
So marks on his chest. The Bulldogs all of a sudden a little bit of heat on them. Kicks out wide to Bailey Williams, who runs with the flight of the footy and marks on his chest. Chips it back inboard to Scott, still on the wing. Out of side the ground, got his kick away just as he was run down. Low drop punt inside forward 50. Vlosten reads it best. Attacked the ball, picked it up on the bounce. Spots Pickett across half-back. Kicks it across half-back. The bouncing ball to Pickett now. Runs a full 15 with plenty of pace. Hand pass off to Rioli. Another one back to Pickett. They're on the charge here. Tails right up. Got a player forward here if they want him. Clark's got it. Chip over the top. And the mark has been taken by Cumberland, who kicked a nice goal to start the run for Richmond. And he's taken this 45 out on a 45-degree angle.
Good build-up, Baz, and fantastic transition, but it might come at a cost because Graham really pulled up shore there, grabbed his right hamstring, so we might not see him for the rest of the day. But Cumberland now, he's really got this forward line up and about. He's really been the barometer.
Bob Jane, team Arch Maggie.
Yeah, I reckon he's done his hamstring. He's just stretched out and just ran straight off the bench. The doctor and physio talking to him. Lucky they didn't sub with Tom Lynch. Cochin now talking. So I reckon his day could be done, Graham.
Cumberland skips around, sort of real interesting style, and it is offhands through for a point. Didn't make the distance from 45. Richmond 6-6-42 and on the charge. 9 points winning are the Bulldogs 8-3-51.
Haven't seen much of Libba this quarter, Two-Man.
Yeah, spot on, Kate. Only one disposal in this term opposed to 9 during the first quarter, along with 4 clearances.
Ooh, waxing lyrical in the back row. Kate McCarthy and Ash Stewart. Triple M Red Z lenders. As Scott just trying to take the heat out of this one, the Bulldogs. Bruce now in the left back pocket. He's got an option over the top. And he gets it there now. Crozier. Just going to pick their way through this as he goes short and flat to Daniel, who spears another ball to Big Tim English. Handball off to McRae now. A long penetrating one. The big fly. He got the ride, Marcus, and he plucks the mark. 45 out on a 60-degree angle.
That was a superb launch. He just launched himself and he got the ball at the highest point and he almost shook it up in the air at the same time and just plucked it just on the Harvey Norman replay here, sitting on Jamara Ugle-Hagen's head. Oh. He's no little fella there, Jamara Ugle-Hagen, but geez, this guy, can't he play in any part of the ground?
He was looking for the dish off. That's how unselfish he is, but he's going to have to go back here from 49. Always skinny. Bronx cheers from the crowd. So the Dogs under a bit of siege here. They've kicked the last 3 of the Tigers and they lead 6-6-42. The Dogs 8-4-52. Bob Jane, Team Arts, Robbo.
Yeah, Jack Graham into the rooms as we suspected with that hamstring. Cochin with his playing kit on. GPS ready to go. So the number 9 subbed for the Tigers.
Yeah, Graham a big loss, but Cochin coming in. A terrific sub for Richmond, no doubt about that, as Treloar got it on the wing, gets around a couple and then kicks the full forward for the Bulldogs. Vlosten again, reading it beautifully, takes the mark at true fullback. Delivers a nice ball to the outer side wing where Mansell slides to his knees and marks. Little chip over the top to McIntosh. Game 150. Ash, how's he gone today?
Triple M Red Z, McIntosh. He's picked up 6 touches.
Kicks forward because he had a one-on-one with Dusty Martin and confident enough to give it to the superstar, the Rolls Royce. And he wins in the one-on-one, 70 from home. Kicks to Cumberland, who's led very wide to forward 50. And he marks about 48 metres out on the boundary line, southern stand side of the ground.
Well, Cumberland earned himself a call-up to the main side this week after being the sub last week and bringing exactly what he is bringing today. A lot of energy, a lot of vigour in the forward line, been really good so far.
Didn't make the distance before. Let's see how he goes now. From 50, gives it everything he's got. Got a nice piece of it. It's going to go a little across the face, still in play. Bolton's got it forward pocket, skips way one way then the other, and delivers beautifully to about 25 metres out from goal on a 45-degree angle. Another shot for the Tigers, who are charging here. They trail by 10 points, and Hopper it is to have a shot.
That's good by Bolts to square that up, because I know in his mind he would have been thinking of goal of the year again straight away, but very, very clever. It's the time that he needed to do, compose himself, get a shot on goal, put scoreboard pressure on.
Hopper steps up. Game high for the Bulldogs, Ash.
Game high for Triple M Red Z, 29 points early into the second quarter.
To bring it back to 4 points, Hopper's done it. Easily just slots the drop punt home. And the Tigers 7-6-48. The Bulldogs 8-4-52. 23 minutes second term. Triple M Titanium Caravan scoreboard.
Again, just that ability to move the ball quickly. They got it into their forward line quickly. Ended up getting a shot on goal through Cumberland. It went across the face, and Bolton, I completely agree with you, Jono. The rush of blood to the head would have been there for Bolton wanting to kick goal of the year, but very unselfish. Looked back to the middle of the ground and found Hopper all on his lonesome. While he was lining up for that shot, Trent Cotchin made his way onto the ground. Heard a lot of applause from the fans. Probably not super happy that he'd been left out of the team, but interesting that he's been managed and now he's going to play more than a half of football.
Back in the middle for McDonald's and Ream Hot Water. Triple M rocks footy. English with the tap down. Liberatore got in the back of Hopper, but Trelaw got it back to English. A high ball to centre half forward. And the man with the big mud flat flowing off the back of his neck, Ralph Smith, goes wide. Bolton collects on the bounce. He's just got time to ask Pickett to run on. Gives it to him now. And then a left foot ball in towards Lynch. The sport came from Bruce. Ground level English, shops off the deck. Nankervis up to Pickett, the handball to Dusty, goes with that fend off, and he decides to retreat about 30 metres. Grimes goes to Baker, and he's got a man all on his loose in the middle of the ground in Boston.
He has. He runs forward to the middle, goes low with a drop punt to half forward to Rioli. Can load up from 52. He's gone as hard as he can to goal. Bolton, big boy, kicks it off the ground. He was going to tumble over, and he just maintained his footing and slotted it home from 2 metres out. That was brilliant. And you can't believe it, but Richmond have hit the front. Bolton's got 2. 8-6-54 plays, 8-4-52. 25 second term Titanium Caravan scoreboard. The Tigers are on fire.
Well, they've got the crowd into it. They've got them all involved, and the Tigers, they get energy from that. The players out in the ground, you can feel that when you've got the support behind you. But Bolton on the Harvey Norman replay, he was just like a gazelle. He went up and came back down, and then was like cat-like, and then just able to kick that goal out of mid-air. Fantastic work.
Well, you always hear the coaches saying, keep your feet, youngster, keep your feet. That's exactly what he did there. I have no idea how he kept his feet. Didn't fall over, didn't trip over the big man Tom Lynch on the ground, and was able to slot the goal because of that. That was fantastic athleticism.
Back in the middle for McDonald's and Ream Hot Water. Another clearance here with the Tigers. Taranto got it to the 50. Crozier clamped in the tackle by Mansell. And like the two-man said, the 5-minute mark of this term, it was the Bulldogs by 29. And all of a sudden, 5 in a row, and the Tigers are up by 2. At the stoppage again, Taranto, and he's gang tackled on either side. Stoppage, 45 out from the Tigers' goal.
Important stage for the Dogs here at the moment. They just need to get their hands on the football and just soak up some of this time, close the momentum down.
So ball down, ground level. McRae on the up, cut off by Dusty. Handballs off to Ralph Smith, wants his right boot. Snap towards goal! They've got 6 in a row. Ralph Smith gets his first, and the Tigers are out by 8 points here at the MCG.
Well, Jono, you said they need to get their hands on the footy. They did get their hands on the footy, and they gave a handball straight to Dustin Martin. Probably not what you want at the top of 50. Poor work by them, but there's just so much pressure around the footy now at the moment. The Dogs aren't absorbing it as well as they were in the first quarter. having a look at the Harvey Norman, Lynch had a couple of arms all the way around Liam Jones. Probably if that was the other way, I'd say it would have been a free kick to the tall forward, but the defenders really struggled to get free kicks in that part of the ground, but great finish by Ralph Smith. What have you got for us, two men?
Well, it just says efficiency. Last 5 entries for the Tigers. They've kicked 3 goals, 1. Bolt, number 1 ranked player in this term, 6 disposals and a couple of majors.
And the other player getting himself involved too is Dustin Martin, getting his hands on the ball quite a bit.
For McDonald's and Ream Hot Water, Triple M, Rocks Footy, Richmond on the charge at the G. Pickett's got it at half forward. Low drop punt to the leader in the pocket. The big man Lynch back on the ground. Brings it to ground. Bailey Smith overruns the footy. Cumberland in there. Hand pass to Martin. The Rolls Royce from 25. Have a look at him. That's what champions do. Finishes beautifully, and Richmond go out to a 14-point lead. 7 in a row, 10-6-66. Dogs 8-4-52. Triple M Titanium Caravan scoreboard.
How's the change in momentum from this game? Really, it was the first quarter and a half. All the Bulldogs in the last 10 minutes has just been completely dominated by Richmond. Bailey Smith there had a little bit of a look up as he had the ball, had his head over the footy, made an uncharacteristic error which allowed Cumberland to just pounce on it and give it to Dusty and kick the goal.
Well, it's now Dustin Martin, 14 possessions, and he's kicked the 1 goal now as well. So when he gets his hand on it, I tell you what, those Tigers players, they just react straight away.
The half-time siren can't come soon enough here for the Dogs. For McDonald's and Ream Hot Water, built tough Aussie conditions. When it comes to water heating, ask your plumber to install a Ream. Beautiful too. So back in the air, English versus Nankervis. It's ground level Hopper trying to get it out. 4 of them dive on top.
+1 at the moment, Tigers, just sitting 1 behind the ball at the moment, which is Baker, and pushing Ralph Smith into the middle of the contest at the moment. So we've got a massive pack here.
So right next to the centre circle, Nankervis wide. Daniel off the back. He sends a right football up to the 50. Gloston couldn't reel it in with the one hand. He slaps it out sideways. Rioli the target. He got it up for Baker. And now a slippery 1-2. Mansell, Baker. Taranto. Oh, they're running in a wave here, the Tigers. But they met a dead-end street in English. Now on the turnover. Norton inside 50 to Hannon. Fantastic turnover there in the middle of the ground. They were swarming forward, the Tigers. Big Tim English stopped the run of play. And now Hannon with a set shot on goal.
Well, Baker just had too many options. He had too many options to choose from. He had 3 on his left and then 1 on his right. He didn't know what to go with. And that was a big play by Timmy English. He's kicked 2 goals already. That's just as good as a goal, that laying that tackle in the middle of the ground.
This one to stop the bleeding. Hannon from 40. Misses to the near side. So, not the answer they wanted there, the Dogs. 8-5-53, trailing the Tigers 10-6-66. Triple M Titanium Caravan scoreboard.
Gloston, beautiful kick from fullback. Long 40-metre drop punt to Ralph Smith. Marks in front of the members and plays on. Puts it on the head of Lynch. Off hands to Nankervis, the big ruckman. Slips out a little hand pass out sideways to Dusty Martin. Keeps it in. Look at that kick, Jono. Beautiful. Sonsi a chance. Punts it out to Richmond, half forward to Cochin. Hand pass Rioli. Dummies around 1. Gives it to Baker from 40. He loads up and misses just to the right. They are finding it very hard to stop. Richmond are the Bulldogs. 10-7-67 to 8-5-53, 30 and a half second term.
I've just got to say, Baz, I've got goosebumps here. That kick from Dustin Martin, that just gives you chills. To see the seat where we're sitting, we've seen that kick. That was a superb kick. Not many guys in football can do that.
So what a term it was for the Richmond Footy Club. At the 5-minute mark, they trailed by 29. And then they started to light up. The fire lit up towards the Pun Road end. They kicked 7 straight. And they'll go into the major break, leading 10-7-67. The Dogs 8-5-53. You got Barry Denner calling the house down. Kate McCarthy, Chris Johnson, Ash Chua, Mickey Roberts and Timmy Solly. It's your Saturday afternoon, Easter Saturday, for McDonald's and Ream Hot Water. Triple M rocks footy.
That quarter, the Titanium Caravans, tough on and off the field.
For Ream Hot Water,
Triple M rocks footy.
Built tough for Aussie conditions. When it comes to water heating, ask your plumber to install a Ream.
Shut up! The footy's on Triple M!
Straight after this game, join the Temper Mattress call team for St Kilda and Gold Coast.
Brings the Saints fans out of there.
their seat.
And the Suns get one back.
For Ream Hot Water and McDonald's, Triple M rocks footy. Easter Monday on 9. The best Lego builders are back.
Welcome to Lego Masters Grandmasters.
Over 3 grand nights, Monday, Tuesday and Wednesday.
This is pretty wild.
The greatest creations at an all-out battle.
These dirty copiers.
For Grandmaster glory.
You got grand tingles? I've got grand tingles.
New Grandmasters starts Easter Monday, 7:30 on 9 and 9 now.
There's no better time to ride away on a Sea-Doo. Stock has arrived, so get in store and score up to $1,500 worth of Sea-Doo gear on selected models. Hurry, offers are limited. Start living your Sea-Doo life. Visit c-doo.com for your local dealer.
Score an adventure at Bottle Mart.
Babe, we never do anything fun anymore.
Adventure, you say? If you purchase Jack Daniel's Tennessee Whiskey 700ml for $49.99 or Jack Daniel's and Cola 4.8% 10-pack for $47.99, we could win a trip to Las Vegas for the Formula One.
Fast cars, fine dining and fun. I'm on my way there now.
Oh, wait, can you also pick up a 24-pack of Carlton Dry for $47.99?
Let me guess, the boys are adventuring over here tomorrow?
Adventure!
Bye, babe. Catalogue specials out now. Shop your way at bottomart.com.au. T's and C's apply.
At Australian Red Cross Lifeblood, we're going on an Easter egg hunt. But the eggs we're looking for won't be hiding under leaves in pot plants or behind books on the top shelf. They're not even in the chocolate shop. Well, some might be. We're searching high and low for good eggs. Good eggs like you, who can save lives by giving blood. Search Give Blood to book a donation this Easter. Give life. Give blood.
Harvey Norman's Super Easter Sale. On now. Purchase a selected queen size mattress or bed frame and for $1 more, upgrade to a king size. Amazing price on the Rowan Wicker outdoor lounge setting, consisting of a 3-seater sofa, 2 armchairs and a coffee table. Now only $1,299. Up to 20% off carpet and flooring. Hurry, must end Monday. Don't miss out. More deals in store and online. Harvey Norman's Super Easter Sale. On now.
Arm yourself this flu season with Amcal, your vaccination destination. With pharmacies Australia-wide, there's a participating Amcal near you with expert pharmacists and private consultation rooms. To book your flu vaccination, search Amcal Flu.
Pepper Money's self-employed home loan options.
They took into account all of our circumstances and our business position. Just because we didn't fit into that box, we were still a good credit risk.
If you're self-employed and looking for home loan options, talk to us. Pepper Money, the home of loan options. Terms, conditions and loan eligibility criteria apply. Australian credit licence 286655.
Shut up! The footy's on Triple M!
Straight after this game, join the Temper Mattress call team for St Kilda and Gold Coast.
Brings the Saints fans out of their seat.
And the Suns get one back.
For Ream Hot Water and McDonald's, Triple M rocks footy.
Shut up! The footy's on the radio!
Triple M rocks footy.
This halftime break for Mitre 10 Trade. For expert advice and a job done right first time.
Half-time at the MCG, and after a 6-2 Bulldogs first term where they led by 23 points, the Tigers have exploded in the second quarter. 8-2 their way, they lead by 14 points, 10-7-67, the Western Bulldogs 8-5-53. Barry Denner with you, Ashley Chua and Kate McCarthy joining me at half-time. This is the half-time break for Mitre 10 Trade. Mitre 10 Trade for expert advice and a job done right the first time. Ash, the big numbers in that first half of the Tigers leading by 14 points.
Positives for the Bulldogs, 32 entries inside 50. They've only been averaging 46 per game, ranked 18th, and they're scoring. Coming into today's game, only hitting the scoreboard at 58 points for an entire match. Well, they've posted 53 up to half-time, but in that second quarter, Tigers dominated territory. They led the inside 50 count 19-10, and they're super efficient as well. They posted 8 majors from those 19 entries. They got belled in the clearances in that first quarter, Richmond. They were down by 8, but they won 7 out of the last 9 clearances, and they posted 4 zip from stoppages in that second quarter to the Bulldogs at only 1 straight. And their kicking efficiency also lifted. 45% in Q1 for Richmond, 74% that second term. Just some leading ball winners. Baker, 19 disposals for the Tigers. Hopper, 16. Jono spoke about Dustin Martin, 15 disposals, 4 inside 50s and a major. Taranto, only 2 touches in the first quarter. He racked up 11 in that second term, so he's got 13 for the game along with 4 clearances. And Bolton also got busy. Only 3 touches in the first quarter, 6 in that second term along with a couple of goals. And for the Bulldogs, Bont, he's their number 1 ranked player, 17, 7 clearances, and he's laid 5 tackles.
Superb, Ash. Chris Johnson joins Kate McCarthy at halftime.
Yeah, it's been obviously a good start for the Dogs, and then Richmond, they just put the foot down and said, no, we're not mucking around anymore, we're going to kick a few goals. There was a point there about midway through the second term where the Dogs were up by 29 points. Now we sit here at half-time and the Tigers are up by 14, and that was just all off the back of some of their chains out of their D50. So they had 12 chains from their defensive 50 for 7 inside 50s, kicking 3 goals, 2 from that source. And I think the difference, Jono, was just how quickly they moved the ball. They didn't stuff around with it. They didn't overuse the handball like they had in the first term. They kicked it out to space. They kept the ball moving, and the Dogs couldn't flood numbers back in defence.
Well, Kate, we spoke about the Tigers when they were going forward. They were coming through the middle of the ground at one stage when they were kicking towards the Ponsford Street end, and they just overused the handball and just weren't getting it quick enough. And I think Lynch at that time may have gone off the ground, and they looked like they were in trouble. And the Dogs, on the other hand, in the first quarter, were moving the ball so seamlessly inside their forward 50 and hitting targets. But they moved that around halfway through, as you said. They led by 29 points almost, the Bulldogs. And for the Tigers' credit, they got themselves back in the game. They got that stream of flow and that wave off half-back. They won the ball. They linked up through chain, and then they got over the back. And it was first through Ryan. They got him at the back. He marked the ball just outside the goal square. But then Noah Cumberland, he got himself organised and got himself up and about in that second term as well. Won some hard ball, contested ball that he needed to win on the half-forward flank. But then Dusty came into it. But then the clearances as well. They got the ball outside of their clearances and gave their forwards first opportunity at the football. And that was a complete different scenario compared to the first quarter where the Dogs were doing that with their forwards. But great turnaround by the Tigers.
Chris Johnson with Kate McCarthy, like Torval and Dean. The others are jealous. Amy Clangers, we love them at half-time. Who covers Clangers on and off the field? Amy does. What has Amy sort of got for us this afternoon?
English there that kicked that goal. That it all comes back to the way Bailey, Dale, I'm getting my words mixed up here. Merge-wixt. That's what you call it, merge-wixt.
Jono, just a little tongue-tied there. It happens, Jono. You get tongue-tied
Bailey
sometimes.
Dale.
That's the one. There was a game earlier this afternoon. Adelaide really good against Freo. Yader and the team were there. Let's have a listen to the summary.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Adelaide home by 39 points. A big win for them back-to-back now over the Dockers. 17-9-111. The Dockers 10-12-72. For McDonald's and Ream Hot Water, Triple M Rocks Footy. It's our Triple M Amy review, of course. Who covers Clangers on and off the field? Amy does. We've got Bernie Vince, Sean Burgoyne and Mark Soderstrom looking back on this game. And boys, Adelaide putting 2 together, and the Dockers a bit disappointing. Dig a bit deeper for us.
Yeah, well, both teams will reflect completely differently this one. But Adelaide, after the first 2 rounds, all we were asking for, well, the Adelaide supporters were asking for, is a 4-quarter effort. I thought their intensity around the footy was great, Adelaide, their tackle pressure, and they weren't just tackles that sort of you grabbed onto their jumper and the ball spilled out. They were crunching tackles and everyone got involved. So their forward 50 pressure was really good as well. On the flip side, really disappointing from Freo. This is a team that finished 5th last year, and this is a team that looks completely different. They look almost, we were talking before, a bottom 4 side at the moment.
I think Adelaide just had an even contribution from everyone. I think there's 8 players with over 20 possessions for the Adelaide team. There's only 3 for Fremantle. So it just shows you the even spread that Adelaide have from forwards, mids and backs, whereas Fremantle are relying on a couple. But also the Adelaide's pressure on Fremantle. We spoke a number of times about how Fremantle kept missing 3-metre handballs or 2-metre handballs when they're out. And then because they miss that handball, the ball goes whoosh down the other end for Adelaide. So there's a few things to tidy up for Fremantle.
Score points and redeem rewards when you order McDelivery via the My Macca's app. Available in select locations only. Exclusions and fees apply. See in-app for details.
Scoring points, well, certainly Adelaide got 111 of them, which was fantastic. Freo just the 10 goals. Contrasting forward lines, Burn, because Adelaide had some really big key targets.
No, they did. And, they got the 3 tools up there. Galan, I thought, was pretty good too, especially in that first half. I really liked Thilthorpe's game today. I think he equally as good as last week. Kicks the 5 last week, but around the ground he was so good. Intercept marking, he was strong down the line. He got back into D50 when he was pinch hitting in the ruck. So I just felt like today was a big step forward in that area for Riley Thilthorpe.
And Silk, very important for these two sides next week. Adelaide have got Carlton when the gather round begins, and Fremantle just need to win. They got the Gold Coast at Norwood.
Well, just looking at the next 3 weeks for both those teams. So, like I said, Carlton for Adelaide, then Hawthorn, then Collingwood. So the next 2 weeks is really vital for Adelaide. They can get potentially 2 wins there and get on a bit of a roll. And Fremantle, like I said, they've got Gold Coast, Western Bulldogs and Brisbane in the next 3 weeks. So it's going to be very important. You know, they've only had the 1 win. They want to actually play finals. If you keep stacking up the losses, you're not going to get there in the end. So, and you mentioned they're staying here for the week as well. So time for them to regroup, bond and come out against Gold Coast.
Well, there it is. Adelaide home by 39 points over the Fremantle Dockers here at the Adelaide Oval earlier today.
Thanks, Yada. A lead here for 14 points for the Tigers at half-time. They're 10-7-67. The Bulldogs, 8 goals, 5-53. Chris Johnson, Kate McCarthy, the two-man, Mickey Roberts, Tim Solly and Baz. For McDonald's and Ream Hot Water, Triple M rocks footy.
That halftime break for Mitre 10 Trade for expert advice and a job done right first time.
For Ream Hot Water and McDonald's,
Triple M rocks footy.
Well, Baz, get the game you want when you want it this footy season.
Spot on, Kate, with all 207 Toyota AFL Premiership regular season games on KO. You will never miss your favourite team.
You can catch all the high-flying heroics and match-winning goals whenever and wherever you want all season long.
KO, Kate, whenever sport is everything.
New to KO? Start your free trial today.
Hi, it's Marty Sheargold from Triple M's Marty Sheargold Show, and right now, Triple M rocks football. Max, go on. You're an avid cyclist. Yes. And in fact, you went on a cycling tour of France in October last year. Are you going behind the tour, or are you in front of the tour to watch them come up the hill?
The tour's in July.
Right. So it's not in October?
Yeah.
Triple M's Marty Sheargold Show. Weekdays from 6 on Triple M. Get the podcast now from the Listener app.
McDelivery has arrived on the My Macca's app. For a limited time, grab a free medium Big Mac meal when you spend $30 or more on your first McDelivery order via the app. Value means more at Macca's. Available for a limited time at participating restaurants. T's and C's apply. See an app for details.
Score an adventure at Bottle Mart.
Babe, we never do anything fun anymore.
Adventure, you say? If you purchase Jack Daniel's Tennessee Whiskey 700ml for $49.99 or Jack Daniel's and Cola 4.8% 10-pack for $47.99, we could win a trip to Las Vegas for the Formula One.
Fast cars, fine dining and fun. I'm on my way there now.
Oh, wait, can you also pick up a 24-pack of Carlton Dry for $47.99?
Let me guess, the boys are adventuring over here tomorrow?
Adventure!
Bye, babe. Catalogue specials out now. Shop your way at bottlemart.com.au. T's and C's apply.
Super Easter sale on now at Harvey Norman. Save $150 on the HP 14-inch laptop. Now super value for under $400. Get a bonus Galaxy Watch 4 valued at $399 with the awesome new Samsung Galaxy A34. Only $599. Save $200 plus bonus $50 gift card on the Dyson V8 stick pack. Now only $594. Save $200 on the energy-efficient Westinghouse fridge. Now only $994. Super Easter sale on now at Harvey Norman.
Oh, who's that from? A quick look won't hurt. What time are you picking up, Kate? Oh, damn it.
Saw you on your phone. License, please.
Pick up your phone while you're driving, and it's a $555 fine and 4 demerit points. Distracted drivers can be caught anywhere, anytime. A message from the TAC. Drive safely for everyone.
Doesn't matter if you're fitting a kitchen, converting a garage, or redoing the garden. You can tackle more jobs than ever before with the 18-volt Stanley FatMax V20 cordless tool range. For a limited time, get the 18-volt Stanley FatMax Big Value Angle Grinder Kit with extra lithium battery for only $199. T's and C's apply. Ends April 16. Offer exclusive to Mitre 10 Home Hardware, Thrifty Link Hardware, and True Value Hardware. Do more with the Stanley FatMax V20 range.
Hello, Frank Walker from National Tiles. The first ever exclusive National Tiles Easter Spend and Save is on now. For 4 days only this Easter at National Tiles, spend $4,000 and we'll only charge you $2,750. Or spend $2,000 and we'll only charge you $1,450. This first ever Easter National Tiles Spend and Save is on today, Sunday, Monday and Tuesday only. So whatever you do, don't miss the National Tiles Easter Spend and Save.
Save big on your next family adventure at Hoyts. Keep the whole family entertained and your wallet happy these school holidays with family of 3 or 4 tickets to the latest movies. So what are you waiting for? Book your family tickets now at hoyts.com.au. T's and C's apply.
Shut up! The footy's on the radio!
Triple M rocks footy.
This quarter for Beacon Trade. Beacon Trade's here to partner with your business with a huge range of lighting, fans and electrical accessories. Beacon Trade. Let's make light work.
Half time here at the Coliseum, the home of footy, and it was all the Dogs early. They led by 23 at quarter time, and then a goal to Norton at the 5-minute mark of that second term. They led by 29. It looked like they were going to storm home, and then the Tiger Army just came. They kicked 7 unanswered goals. It was all led by the small forwards. Bolton's got a couple, Lynch has got a couple, but also Cumberland and Martin chiming in, and it's the Tigers leading here at the major break by 14 points. We might go to you two first for some of the Triple M Reds heads, as the rain is absolutely starting to team down here. It's like a monsoon has just hit the MCG.
Well, as Jono said, they really turned around the clearances, the Tigers. They were down by 9 at quarter time, but they had 7 out of the last 9, and they posted 4 goals from stoppages in Q2 opposed to the Bulldogs at 1. And Tom Liberatore, who was damaging that first quarter, Jono, he had 9 disposals and 4 clearances, also kicked a couple of goals, just the 1 possession in that second term.
He's a barometer for him, and when he's up and about, he certainly takes the troops with him, but once he gets down and out of the game, he finds it hard to get it back in, so they'll be looking for something massive out of him in this third term.
We might head down to the boundary for Bob Jane's team, Marts. Robbo, you looked at me about 2 minutes ago and said, how's it looking out there, Tim? I said, nah, dry, it's all clear out there, Robbo, you don't need the dries of bone, and it's absolutely teeming down.
I've said it before, it's pissing down. And the subs have already been unleashed, and usually that happens in about halfway through the third term or even into the last quarter. But I tell you what, Alex Keith, he copped one mid-flight from Tom Lynch, and he was gone. He was in dreamland on the outer side there. They looked at videotape, so Mitch Hannon got his chance. And then Jack Graham just ran straight off the ground, grabbed his hamstring. So Cotchin was on. So the Tigers and the Western Bulldogs have actually had to unleash their medical subs before half-time. Got a nice little fanfare, Cotchin. So the Tiger Army are about. And I did say at the start of the game, if Dusty can get his mojo going, they'll swing off the coattails of him. And away they went in that second term. Let's see how they go in the floods in the second half.
Superb stuff from you, Robbo. As always, stay dry down there, my friend. As we go back to you, Two-Man, Choice Hotels around the grounds. Whatever your reason for travelling, you'll get the lowest price guaranteed when you book direct at choicehotels.com. So go ahead, book it.
Absolutely, no doubt, Tim. And the Crows, well, they've posted win number 2 for the season, defeated the Dockers by 39 points, 17-9, 111 to Freo, 10-12, 72. Walker 4 majors, and Rochelle, he had 20 disposals and chipped in with 3 goals.
And of course, this third quarter brought to us by Beacon Trade. Hey tradies, Beacon Trade is here to partner with your business. Beacon's got a huge range of lighting products, plus the best services from expert trade teams in over 120 stores to make every tradie's job easier. Beacon Trade, let's make light work. It is a tad wet out there, Kate, you would say.
Yeah, it's absolutely not light work out there, and it won't be for the second half. But the Bulldogs, they need to bring that pressure that they had in the first term back to get back in this match. I don't think we'll see the speed of ball movement that we saw in the second quarter, though, from Richmond, because this weather will not allow it.
Well, this is going to be old-fashioned football. Get it forward, bash it, kick it, whatever you possibly could do. Sometimes even now, Kate, a drop punt isn't where you're going to gain ground. It's almost those mongrel torpedo punts that you just try and get it forward. Kick it to grass because everyone's going to run onto it, and the ball's just going to skid along. So wet weather football here. Get your fingernails dirty, Baz. Get your fingernails dirty. Get low and get your body over the ball. That's what it's all about this third quarter.
Spot on, Jono. It is coming down in buckets full. No doubt about that. That's a term you've got to get right on radio. Think about that one, Tim. For McDonald's and Ream Hot Water, Triple M at Rocks Footy, slapped down at ground level. Liberatore kicks it off the ground. We're going to see a bit of that. Towards forward of the wing for the Bulldogs. Grabbed by Arthur Jones. Did well. Little hand pass back to McComb. Kicks to half forward. Ugelhagen the target. Vlosten's been good, Ash, today.
He has Triple M Reds there, 10 disposals, 6 intercepts.
And a nice one there at halfback. So the Tigers out of trouble. Ralph Smith's got it. Runs across halfback. Hand pass to Mansell, but Mansell's hand pass over the top. The overlap was partially smothered. Allowed Bailey Smith in. Brings the ball to ground. Liberatore with a slippery footy had terrific hands to Bailey Dale, and his disposal 20 metres onto the chest, just forward of the wing to Norton.
Norton wheels and goes. He gets it to Baker. That's Oscar, and he puts it inside 50. And on a searching lead, Ugelhagen takes it centimetres inside the boundary.
Yeah, he got Grimes. He looked like he was going out the back, and Grimes swiveled his head, and then Jamara Ugelhagen just let it the kicker nicely. It's a tough kick from the angle where he is at the moment, but Baker, superb kick.
It's the right side for a left footer. He improves the angle slightly, gives it a good ride. It's going to go right to the line, but Nankervis there. The double spike through for a minor score. First score for this second half goes to the Dogs. They are 8-6-54. The Tigers 10-7-67. Triple M Beacon Trade scoreboard.
Oh, Vlosten's kick out of full back has gone straight to McComb, who picks it up from 45. Real high kick with a slippery ball. Norton juggles it, paid the mark. Right forward pocket. He's only about 15 metres out. Nice work with the slippery ball.
Poor skills there by the Tigers coming out of the back half. But what I was going to say about Jamara Ugelhagen with that shot on goal, one thing you want to avoid in these conditions, Kate, is certainly long points.
13 points they trail by the Bulldogs. Early goal, third term, yes. It is for the Bulldogs at the punt road end. Norton kicks his second, and the Dogs inch back closer. 7 points up the Tigers, 10-7-67. Bulldogs 9-6-60. Beacon Trade scoreboard.
Well, worst case scenario that time for the Tigers. In this weather, goals are tough to come by. That time they just turned it straight over coming out of their defensive 50. It was a shocking kick, and then they got it straight back in. Obviously, when it turns over like that, your defence is in all sorts, and Norton did really well to protect the drop of the ball there and then finish it off with around the corner on his left.
It's Kate McCarthy in the back row for Triple M Seabus Super special comments. Seabus Super making hard work pay off. Alongside her, Ashley Chewer and Chris Johnson, all-star cast.
Impressive.
As we're back in the middle here for McDonald's and Ream Hot Water, Triple M Rocks Footy. Slap out wide, coming off the square. Couldn't quite get it out to advantage. Bontempelli off the deck. Just sockers it up to half forward. Ugelhagen might have caught one in the ribs as he slid in. Now Liberatore dropped the ball in the tackle. Daniel to Bontempelli. Could have caught one high. The whistle's been put away. Prestia on the rebound. Just goes the tumbling punt to half forward. Charging at it, Jones. It spun off his head. Bruce back to Jones. And he'll fan it very wide. Sliding in Baker. Falconing it out to the man in front, JJ. Sends it straight up the chimney. Dale knocked down to Baker, who goes for territory. Kick for touch. And no leniency by the umpire.
Do the umpires know it's raining? Because that is the only option you have in the rain, to kick the ball and get it forward. It's bounced out. That is tough call.
It is sliding off the side of the boot. Anyway, Bailey Dale's got it on the wing. The Bulldogs have got it back. Hand pass to Treloar, who again, at a decent long kick off the ground. Bulldogs handling this situation well early. Kick back towards half forward for the Tigers, been marked by Liam Jones, who slides to his chest and marks. His short pass, though, has missed the target in Oscar Baker and allowed McIntosh to mark on the wing for Richmond. His short pass has been cut off for the Bulldogs by Bailey Dale. He marks, hand pass Treloar, hand pass Liberatore. Rain continues to team down here at the MCG. Hand pass Johannison. Marks and runs. Little short ball to Bailey Smith. Marks and runs. Goes to Norton in a one-on-one. Grimes got the sit on him here. Doesn't mark though. Ball's at ground level. Lob lurks. All coming in from the side. Arthur Jones. It's picked up by Bolter. His hand pass though straight over the top. 40 out. Bailey Smith under pressure with a kick. Pickett back with a fly to the foot. He dropped the mark 10 metres from the Bulldogs goal. McComb's got it dragged down in a tackle. Incorrect disposal advantage paid. No, it's going to come back for Richmond. Umpire thought about letting it go, but it'll be pulled back to fullback for the Tigers.
But as you called it before, the Dogs have actually really composed themselves in these scenarios and made sure that they've really adapted to these conditions. They've been able to use the ball quite well going forward. The Tigers aren't able to get the ball in their forward 50 yet.
Grimes goes for distance. Ryan competes hard against Dale. Now ground level. Ugle-Hagan, clean hands. And then darts one inside 50 into the bread basket, a lob. 40 metres out on a slight angle.
They've done it well all game, but significantly there, they've just set up really nicely around the arc of 50. Bailey Dale, I think that's about his third intercept in the sort of forward half for the Bulldogs, and just turned it over beautifully, and they just had numbers around the footy. Ugle-Hagan got it in, really composed kick.
Slow, deliberate approach from lob. Across the face. Minor score. So margin back to one straight kick now. Bulldogs 9-7-61. Richmond 10-7-67. Triple M Beacon Trade scoreboard. Beacon Trade's here to partner with your business with a huge range of lighting, fans and electrical accessories. Beacon Trade, let's make light work.
Spot on, big man. And from fullback, a long kick for the Tigers out here to the wing. But the Dogs there again. Slippery ball, clever hands. Hannon to Scott. Kicks them back inside forward 50. Now it's a race for the footy. Rioli was brilliant. Got there first. Nice hands out to Ralph Smith. They want the corridor, Richmond, all of a sudden. Hand pass out wide to Sonsi. He kicks inside forward 50. Bolton's got about 4 to beat. Bruce, one of those. Punched the footy away from him. Went back onto his own ball. Hand pass Crozier. Ran into Martin and his own teammate in Ed Richards. Spills back over the top with a hand pass from Rioli towards Lynch. He's tumbled to the ground. Kicked off the ground for the Bulldogs. Straight to Pickett on forward 50. Hand pass Dusty Martin. How can the Rolls Royce go from here? He's pushed on his kick. And it's wide and out of bounds on the full. Is every disposal now is just going to be under pressure, isn't it?
It certainly is, especially these conditions. You just haven't got the time. The ball's going to slow up now. I think we've got a 50-metre penalty here against McIntosh for dissent. I think it may be, or just stepping over the man of the mark, just waiting for the Harvey Norman replay.
Oh, dissent's a better story. Let's go with dissent, Jono.
Let's go dissent, Jono. That's what Robbo would have done.
Story of the week.
As they build down the outer wing now, Baker. He's got new life at the kennel, goes to half forward, lob, was pushed in the back. A little bit sloppy by the young man Young. So Lob's got it just beyond his range here. As you need a life vest to play footy out there at the moment, it's that wet. Lob's gone back to about 70. He wheels and goes now, the big levers, and then puts it into the hot spot. Good run and jump, Hannon. And now at ground level, Prestia, tackled by Jones. Ball locked in. Stoppage, 20 out from the Dogs' goal.
Well, forward half at the moment, the Dogs are at 82%, keeping the ball in their forward half.
Richmond by 6 points. Early stages, third term, about 7.5 minutes in. The umpire will ball it up again. Still 20 metres out from the Bulldogs' goal.
And Baz Bailey Dale in these wet conditions, he's had 13 kicks but going at 92% by foot along with 20 touches in total.
Spot on, Ash. Excellent in these conditions, isn't it? Kick off the ground for the Bulldogs, who'll race across the face of goal to the boundary line. And Tigers happy to see it over. There'll be another boundary thrown about 25 around from the Bulldogs' goal. 9-7-61 they are, 10-7-67 for the Tigers, 8.5 third term. Triple M Beacon Trade scoreboard.
So punt right into the ground, left to your radio dial. Attacking end here for the Tigers. They lead by 6, ball back in. English just worked Nankervis under the pill in the contest. And Nankervis will get the free kick. He looks out to this broadcast wing, a big left foot ball. Flying over the top, Crozier, front centre Treloar. And he'll get a free kick for his trouble, McRae. Taken high in the tackle, 60 metres from home. Good look at this one from the box. Slow movement inside 50, so he just three-quarter chip. Puts it up for Norton. The big men fly, and then Ugle-Hagan tried to bring it down with one hand. A clearing kick now by the Tiger defence, and it's going to work out. Martin takes it at right half back.
Hasn't he been important today? He plays on, he broke a tackle from the mark, played on, hand pass to Bolton, who's run forward to the wing with a hand pass to Mansell. Another hand pass off, this time to Hopper. A wide ball, does he keep it in play to Cumberland? No. The boundary umpire felt he just skipped out with the footy as it landed on his chest. So Liam Jones gets the free kick for the Bulldogs at half-back.
Play on.
We just saw the Harvey Norman replay. A few groans from the Tigers fans as Jones kicks back out here to the wing.
That's a good kick because English is oversized there for Baker. Just climbed over the top of him, plucked the mark in the wet. And this will just steady things up at left half-back. 10 minutes gone first term. Tigers by 6 as he goes down the line, English. Lob just chickened out of that contest. Had to crash the pack. And Grimes takes the mark. He'll go laterally inboard. Prestia looks into the corridor. They're always wanting to attack through the spine, but he can't on this occasion. Handball's back to Bolter. Chisels a short one to Prestia. Oh, waxing. He goes back again to Bolter, who'll just drive it long, penetrating 65-metre drop punt. The punch came from Jones. Front and centre was good, but tackle came from English. And now swooping on the Pildale. He's happy to be knocked across the line there by Clark. Out of bounds, 40 around from the City end goal. It's 10.5-minute mark of this third term. Tigers by 6.
Mickey Roberts, that rain eased down there?
It has, Baz. Thank goodness, because it was sheets at one stage. Sheets.
Yeah, it was.
But we've gutsed it out. We're okay now.
Yep, that's good. Well, you'd know because we haven't noticed up here.
Oh, well, we used to play in the mud at Moorabbin, mate.
You did.
So I'm used to it.
Boundary throw in, chain of hand passes. Martin to Cumberland from 50. Hooks and just takes a crack. Has a crack. But it's very wide and through for a behind. So they go back out to a 7-point lead, Richmond. 11.5 minutes third term.
So kicking duties here with Richards. Just leaves the defensive goal square. He's a bit indecisive. Chips a short one to JJ. You heard the umpire, exclusively Mike for Triple M. Has to go long and deep. That's a ball to advantage. Baker gets on his bike. He wants to take the advantage. He comes inboard to Daniel. They love the ball in his hands. Left foot ball. That's not his best effort. The spore came. Bontempelli hunting. Taps to himself. Pressure coming from behind. Did well there, Scott. But knocked it out. Rioli coughs it up. And now going low and hard. Libber at the coalface as always. And now Baker. Handball's wide for Pickett. Tumbly ball outside 50.
Well, this is setting up beautifully, this one. Both having a real crack now. English, hand pass for the Bulldogs. Over to Richards, a short ball to McRae. He's marked forward to the centre of the MCG. Punt road end, reasonably open still. Few gaps inside, but he goes for the long high bomb. Lob through his fingers. Allows Ralph Smith in for a run on the foot. He went to ground. Hannon under the pump. Last line of defence. Gone. Is he gone? The umpire said no, play on. Spills to Caleb Daniel. Has a little snap and he misses. He misses for a behind. 9 points. Make it 6 points now. The Tigers way 12.5 third term.
Well, just on the Harvey Norman replay, Ralph Smith just had him by the leg, so that should have been a trip, you would have thought, because he fell over as well. Should have been a free kick to the Dogs at the top of the goal square.
Chris Johnson on the Triple M Seabus Supers. Seabus Super making hard work pay off.
Even so, Jono, when you have an opportunity like that, Caleb Daniel probably should have kicked that. He was right in front of goal. I know he was on his left boot, but had a clear shot around the corner. In the wet, you don't get many opportunities like that.
Here they go again from half-back. Ralph Smith with a wet mud flap now. He goes up inside 50. Lynch crashing in, kept his feet. Scott, there's a man down behind play. Belly down, facing the turf. Crozier. As the trainers run out quickly. We'll have to check that one out on the Harvey Norman. They're not going to hold up play here. Scott will go wide.
Stop the play.
They're going to stop the play now. He's in all sorts down here, Crozier.
Yeah,
he doesn't know what world he's in, Jono.
Yeah, I think it was a bit of a clash there, come into a bit of a hit. His own teammate came straight in, so it looks like a ribs by the looks of it. They can't really breathe at the moment, but again, the ball was just in between two Dogs players and two Richmond players, and all of the players just collided together. No one took their eyes off the ball, so great courage by all four players.
He threw himself in head first, Jono, didn't he, into that contest? So good to see him sort of trying to get up on his haunches here, Crozier.
Yeah, at one stage he was just face straight down, but I thought the worst straight away that he'd been hit high in the head and he was unconscious. But he's up now walking with the trainers, which is a great sign.
So Dogs at half-back through Scott. He goes for the low drop punt to English, who let off the wing. He's been good, Ash. Big Tim English.
15 disposals, Baz, along with 5 marks and 2 goals.
Triple M Reds Lending stats.
Just grown into such an important player for them. Obviously very tall, but he uses his height to his advantage, gets around the ground, creates contests, outnumbers his opponents. Really good.
Crow's in a fair bit of trouble. Get down here, Robbo. I know you're eyeballing him coming off the ground here, but he's in a fair bit of pain and still taking a long time to get off the ground. So the Dogs down one here. Robbo, Bob Jane teammates right in front of you.
I'm looking over the doctor's shoulders now, looking at videotape. I've looked at it about 3 or 4 times. Friendly fight. He's a tough cookie, this bloke. And for him to stay down and get escorted off they'll seriously look at this. So a sick boy at the moment, Crozier.
There's Liam Baker relieving mark at half-back, goes inboard Sonsi, and now Gloston. The handball off to Bolter, run and dash, up to half-forward the kick, but cut off by Richards. He'll come back inside laterally.
Yeah, Bolter just needed to wait that ball to space, to grass over the top rather than trying to pinpoint it.
Johannesen completes the switch to Williams. They'll come out this broadcast wing. The ball waited for Hannon. McRae by hand to Smith. And now he'll drive a right foot ball up to the 50. Ball off hands. And now front centre Libber. Got it up to McRae. They're crying for a throw here. It is wet. As Scott from right on the 50. He'll send it to the top of the square. Numbers with the Tigs. Ball off hands. Daniel there. Scrambles. A kick out to the right-hand side. Minor score. 9-9-63. The Tigers 10-8-68. Triple M Beacon Trade scoreboard.
Really pressing here. The Dogs need to get some reward for effort, though, on the scoreboard and try and stop this quick transition from the Tigers.
Taranto to Clark at half-back for Richmond. Hand pass over the top to McIntosh. Back to Clark by hand. Found themselves in a little bit of strife coming in to lend assistance. Taranto again, who pushed it back to McIntosh. Off balance with a kick. Runs along the ground to Dusty Martin in a one-on-one with Liam Jones. Jones punts it out the back to his teammates, but a slippery footy eluded them. Allowed Sonsi in. Back to Martin. Here they go. Hand pass back towards Mansell. Kick inside forward. 50. Holding free kick. Will go to the Bulldogs. Against Big Tommy Lynch, it'll go to Josh Bruce.
Yeah, you can see it from here, Baz. He just had a handful of jumper and he was trying to move Brucey out of the way, but he just couldn't do it, so he thought he'd grab the jumper. But I don't know when the forwards and backs are going to work out this. There's so many umpires around the ground now. They've got the extra umpire. You're not going to get away with it anymore. So that just depletes your team.
As Bruce goes outside 50 down the line and sliding in McIntosh. Game 150. Two-time premiership player. Get on his bike now and drive a big drop punt to the top of the square. Underneath was Jones. Didn't opt for the mark, and then Bolton was claimed in the tackle. He was collared by Dale. And the umpire says ball up 15 metres out here from the Tigers' goal.
They just needed to get that ball in quicker. Lynch was one-on-one and allowed numbers to get back. They needed to move it quicker. McIntosh, he's got the opportunity now.
Ball kicked outside defensive 50 where McIntosh marked and kicked inboard to Bolter. So Bolter just fall to the centre of the ground. Richmond searching. Bulldogs have started well in this third term. Not 15 with a kick to Ralph Smith. He plays on, hand passes to Baker. Just pulls the kick from 55. It's in the square. Bolton flew. Didn't mark ball at ground level. Chance for Sonsi. Couldn't pick up the slippery ball. Cumberland does later. Tackle was high. He's going to get a free. He's 25 out, slide angle.
That's that touch and go free kick, Kate. That you sort of duck, but you put your arm underneath. So it sort of crept into our game a fair bit a few years ago. Then everyone's been noticeable of it, and not too sure whether on the Harvey Norman replay we're going to get another look at that. But from here at the moment, I would have thought that he probably ducked his head a little bit, so find himself very lucky.
So Cumberland, the tackle was Joshy Bruce. Cumberland from 35 metres out, slide angle, city end. And he's missed.
You know what you call that, Kate? Footy gods.
Karma.
Richmond by 6 points, 18.5 third term, Triple M Beacon Trade scoreboard.
They exit defensive 50 of the Dogs. Arthur Jones, just defensive side of this broadcast wing. He's got the drive-by from Richards, little slippery. His ball cut off by McIntosh. Pressure came from McRae. And now Scott, his handball to no one in particular. Bolter, a high wobbly ball. There's no Tigers down the line. And the mark taken by Williams. Bob James C-March, Robbo.
Yeah, Hayden Crozier into the rooms with Dr. Gary Zimmerman. I reckon it's a whiplash effect. He got a whack in the head, but he was actually poking around his mid-back down his spine. So he's in a lot of pain. He can't move his neck, so could be strained, whiplash, whatever. He's in the rooms.
Yeah, he really threw his head into that contest as the Bulldogs go forward. Floston's got a bit of work to do. He's been good today, tacking over the boundary line. He knew it was there. Great defensive work.
Call it professional. That's professional there. He knew if he grabbed possession, Kate, he was going to get nailed straight away. Just push it to the boundary a little bit.
Chris Johnson, Kate McCarthy for Seabus Super, making hard work pay off.
Spot on, Tim.
As the ball's in, deep in attack here for the Dogs. Ball in, Norton to the front. Liberatore at pace, couldn't gather. Did well there, Clark. Got it to Baker. The handball out wide. Bolter's got Hannon on his hammer. Slung him in the 360. Now the ball turned over. Dale, top of the square, but going back with a flight. Grimes. the goalkeeper on the last line.
Inside 50s this quarter, Ash. What are they looking like?
Triple M Red said well weighted in favour of the Bulldogs. At one stage it was 10-5. They're +3, 11-8, but they've kicked 1 goal 4 from those 11 entries.
Lost in the halfback, Cots it in an 0-1-2. Hand pass off to Hopper. Hopper will claim the footy, advantage paid. There was a free kick back to Cotchin. Kicks just forward of the wing, and the mark is taken by Sonsi. Goes out wide, the little kick to Pickett forward of the wing. Kicks inside forward 50 and finds Bolton. Now he's on the boundary line about 45 out. So a tough kick.
Usually for Bolton, though, the harder the shot, the more likely he is to kick it.
Virtually has turned his back on any option at the moment. He has not wanted to give us stuff about anyone else. And he said, no, just leave it with me.
It's party time, Barry.
Well, before the kick, Richmond lead by 6 points. A 14-point lead it was at halftime. The Dogs have bitten back. 21 minutes third term. Bolton steps over the 50-metre line from the boundary line. He's pushed this right. It won't be a goal. And he sneaks it in for one behind. So the Tigers by 7 points, 21 third term. Triple M Beacon Trade scoreboard.
Tigers still yet to kick one in this third term. There's a flurry of goals in that second quarter, but at the 21-minute mark, they failed to hit the scoreboard with a major as they build again out of defence, the Bulldogs. Daniel a couple of times in the wet. That's risky. He's kicked down the line of the wing. The early fly from Scott, almost. Grimes knocked it out. They're going to surge it forward, the Bulldogs. Ugle-Hagan back to McComb. Choke took him on after Jones. Made it hard work. Taranto, his handball cut off English. Few turnovers here. Cotchin on his knees. Got it out for Clark. Sends it up to the 50. Good work, Bruce. Came through like a steam train. And the numbers here with the Dogs now as Daniel from right half back. Handballs to Libba.
Liberatore, one step, kicks out to the wing, out of side of the ground, punched out of bounds.
A couple of opportunities to probably give frees for people taking the legs at the moment in the rain. There's a lot of players diving in around the footy and taking out legs. That time it was Tim English. Got up a bit sore, but I think the umpires probably need to keep an eye on that, especially in these conditions.
Choice Hotels around the grounds. Ash, what happened earlier today?
Earlier today, Adelaide defeated Freo by 39 points.
And where are we going tonight, Ash?
Saints taking on the Suns at Marvel. And we've got Sydney v Port Adelaide SCG.
Oh, nice. Kick inside forward, 50 for the Tigers. Lynch goes to hands and knees. Punts it outside to Cumberland. Hand pass back to Lynch. They might be on here. Goes out wide. Sonsi's got the bouncing ball. Runs along the ground in from the forward pocket and puts it across the face.
He had 3 people on top of the goal square there. Baz should have gone to it. Went with the little Dacos dribble. Should have almost come back inside. Composure there, Kate.
Jeez, you've been nice there, Jono. He absolutely torched 3 of them.
Lob on the up. Williams hard up on the boundary. Drives it to the broadcast wing. Through the hands of Bolter out the back door. Lurking was Ugle-Hagan. Floaty ball just enough on the kick from McComb. 80 from home, not a lot ahead. Now he'll head in the Norton direction. Dropping back in the hole though, Ralph Smith. Real Joe Dirt style.
Yeah, Norton needed the lead out to the fat side. That's where all the space was there, Timmy. But he just went at the kicker. But there was Richmond players flooding back there. And Ralph Smith was one of them. Or Joe Dirt, if you want to call him.
Well, kicks out to Cumberland, but he's coughed it up with a kick to Bailey Smith. He's 55 out from home. He goes to Ugle-Hagan. He's got it. That was a good mark. Slippery conditions. And Vlosten was all over him, but he hung onto the footy, 40 out on a 45-degree angle.
Yeah, strong marking conditions where people haven't been able to do that much in this third quarter. Really strong hands, wearing a lot of heat too.
Such an exciting player, this young man. Before the kick, it's an 8-point lead to Richmond. The Bulldogs have been terrific in this third term. Ugle-Hagan to the punt road end, 45 out. Settles, left foot drop punt, he's hooked it. He's hooked it and just snuck it through for a point. 7 points up, Richmond. 24 third term. Triple M Beacon Trade scoreboard.
Let them off the hook there. Scoreboard pressure is most important in this game. We know it's not going to be a massive scoring game. You need to kick the goals. When you get them handed to you like that, you've got to make sure you go back and kick them.
Don't forget score points and redeem rewards when you order McDelivery. I can feel your pulse rising here, Barry, via the on My Macca's app. Yes. Available in selected locations only. Exclusions and fees apply. See in-app for details. That's all over you, Barry. That's got your name all over it.
Well, it's got all the good stuff there, Tim. Breakfast, lunch, tea.
Dessert?
Oh, it's just superb. Don't even start me on the McCafe. We'll have that for the little in between.
English out of the ruck. Gets one up inside 50. Clever Hannon got it to Jones. He went low in the tackle, collected high. The umpire says, no, you dropped your knees, son. So we'll have a stoppage right where the 50-metre arc meets the boundary, punt road end. Attacking end for the Dogs. Can they get some reward for effort? As Hopper from the clearance, he handballs to space, cut off Bontempelli. Handball inside for Williams. Long driving ball to the top of the square. Norton flies out the back. Hannon, he crept out, he picked it up. No, he sockers. And it goes across the face of goal. Much to the like of the Tigers supporters.
Oh, that's a coach killer, that is. He's running one out to goal. Could have kicked that. They've kicked 1 goal 6 now for the term.
Floston kicked it out from full back, and Ed Richards had a bit of space, but he waited for an option. Mansell laid the tackle. The ball dropped out of his hands, and Mansell gets the free kick at half-back. Kicks out wide to Hopper. Little short ball to Rioli. He's on the wing outer side of the ground, right in front of the Shane Warne stand. Kicks it about 25 metres to the leading Prestia. And he marks just forward of the wing. Good crowd today, Ash. What's your prediction?
About 55,000, Baz.
Yeah, in these conditions, terrific. Ryan flies inside forward 50. Offhands it spills to the Rolls-Royce Martin. Dragged off the footy in a tackle. Johannesson hand pass off to Treloar. Treloar to Scott. He smashed. Hand pass to Richards. Good. Kicks it back out to the wing. Grimes in front of Hannon. Taps the footy along in front of him. 3/4 time. We've got a player down in Scott right on the siren. We'll keep an eye on that. But it's 3/4 time at the MCG. Richmond 10-11-71 are hanging on to a slender 6-point lead over the Bulldogs 9-11-65. Chris Johnson, Kate McCarthy, Big Tim Solly, Mickey Robertson, the Chew Man. For McDonald's and Ream Hot Water, Triple M Rocks Footy.
That quarter for Beacon Trade. Beacon Trade's here to partner with your business with a huge range of lighting, fans and electrical accessories. Beacon Trade, let's make light work.
For McDonald's,
Triple M Rocks Footy.
Score points and redeem rewards when you order McDelivery via the My Macca's app. Available in select locations only. Exclusions and fees apply. See in app for details.
Hi, it's Marty Sheargold from Triple M's Marty Sheargold Show, and right now, Triple M rocks football.
It's on the radio.
Max, go on.
And Bailey Laurie, you can have a little guess at what his nickname would be with the last name Laurie. Famous cricketer. Bill Laurie.
Bill Laurie.
Yeah.
I was thinking Hugh from House.
Yeah.
I was thinking front end load.
I was thinking a truck.
So surely they're not going to call him front end.
Triple M's Marty Sheargold Show. Weekdays from 6 on Triple M. Get the podcast now from the Listener app.
Hard yakka. Toughness is in our DNA, and we don't take shortcuts. Our legendary status is ingrained in our heritage. Modern, durable, quality. We don't play by the rules, we write them. That's why we've designed the ultimate men's and women's gear and boots for your no-nonsense lifestyle. Designed to work hard on the job or off, whether you're chilling on the weekend or heading out to explore the great outdoors. So get the gear that makes you feel like a legend. Head to your nearest stockist or hardyakka.com.au.
McDelivery has arrived on the My Macca's app. For a limited time, grab a free medium Big Mac meal when you spend $30 or more on your first McDelivery order via the app. Value means more at Macca's. Available for a limited time at participating restaurants. T's and C's apply. See an app for details.
Score an adventure at Bottle Mart.
Babe, we never do anything more.
Adventure, you say? If you purchase Jack Daniel's Tennessee Whiskey 100ml for $49.99 or Jack Daniel's and Cola 4.8% 10-pack for $47.99, we could win a trip to Las Vegas for the Formula One.
Fast cars, fine dining and fun. I'm on my way there now.
Oh, wait, can you also pick up a 24-pack of Carlton Dry for $47.99?
Let me guess, the boys are adventuring over here tomorrow?
Adventure!
Bye, babe. Catalogue specials out now. Shop your way at bottlemart.com.au. T's and C's apply.
Australia, now is the best time to enjoy Aussie fresh fruit and veg.
Right now, 100% Aussie Kent pumpkins are in season and just $2 per kilo.
Coles, value the Australian way.
Offer ends Tuesday.
The Volvo XC40 is a hat-trick hero. The 2021, 22 and now 2023 Drive Car of the Year. Best small luxury SUV. Find out what makes it so special. Visit your local Volvo retailer today. Volvo.
I was really, really disappointed. Had a loan for years with them prior. Really thought that they would be able to help me, but unfortunately they couldn't. Such a save that Pepper Money were able to help me.
Bank said no to your home loan? Talk to Australia's real-life non-bank. Pepper Money, the home of loan options.
Credit criteria, terms, conditions, fees and charges apply. Pepper Money Limited Australian Credit Licence 286655.
For a limited time, get the 18-volt Stanley FatMax Big Value Angle Grinder Kit with extra lithium battery for only $199. T's and C's apply. Ends April 16. Offer exclusive to Mitre 10 Home Hardware, Thrifty Link Hardware and True Value Hardware.
I need help. I can't tell the difference between what's real and what's not.
Paramount Plus presents the new original series, Rabbit Hole.
You found something big enough to make you a target.
Starring Kiefer Sutherland.
None of this makes sense. It's a mind game, John.
Deception is reality.
The enemy is everywhere.
Rabbit Hole. Now streaming exclusively on Paramount Plus.
Shut up! The footy's on the radio!
Triple M rocks footy.
This quarter for Titanium Caravans. Tough on and off the field.
It's tied at three-quarter time at the MCG. Just a 6-point lead to Richmond at three-quarter time after they led by 14 at half-time. Richmond 10-11-71. The Dogs 9-11-65. Just the one goal in that third quarter by Aaron Norton of the Bulldogs. We've got Chris Johnson and Kate McCarthy and Robbo downstairs. Just before that, Triple M Red Z Lending stats. As Red Z Lending, of course, loans for the self-employed, REDZED.com. Ash.
Bulldogs 10 intercepts in the front half of the ground the first half, but they had 11 in the third quarter alone, but couldn't quite capitalise. Only one goal, 4 from turnover in the front half in the third quarter. Bailey Dale, though, number one ranked player, 24 disposals, 88% by foot.
Yeah, it was a bit of a behind fest that third quarter. The Bulldogs had 15 inside 50s, but only kicked the one goal, 6 behinds. 2 of those misses. Caleb Daniel, relatively easy shot from in front on his left boot. Mitch Hannon, though, running into goal. The ball was dribbling along the ground. He tried to soccer it through and just completely missed it. Richmond 9 inside 50s for only 4 behinds.
And it comes down to the contested ball for the Dogs there. It's even across the game at 104 to the Tigers, 103 to the Dogs. But there, in that quarter, they won it by 11. So they got themselves back into it, contested ball, and that's what was mainly around the clearances. They were setting up, Kate, for me, the Dogs, they were setting up really good behind the football when the ball was inside their forward 50, and that's why they got the repeat inside forward 50s, but they just didn't capitalise on it.
And the player that I think has been instrumental in that has been Bailey Dale. Ash just said the number one ranked player on the ground. I think he's playing a really smart game, positioning himself in really dangerous areas to help generate that turnover.
Mickey Roberts, Bob Jane Team Arts.
Yeah, Crozier done as well, so they've lost Alex Keith, Hayden Crozier, and Anthony Scott standing on the bike, starting on the bench as well, and Enoch on the right side was down for a long time.
For McDonald's and Ream Hot Water, Triple M rocks footy. Final term underway. Cochin in the middle now, couldn't clear it. Hopper, the same. And then Treloar just goes off the deck, sliding in Ugle-Hagan. He came from nowhere and used the greasy turf to his advantage. Got on the slide and took a nice slips catch 40 metres out.
Like any kid out there,
2 metres out.
If you're playing forward, Baz, play in front, and that was playing in front. He was on momentum going forward. He wasn't going back towards goal, and that's why he's got a shot on goal now.
This to get it all tied up. Hits it from 52. He's pushed it right. Lob flies, but through his hands, minus score. So 9-12-66 the Dogs. The Tigers 10-11-71. Triple M Titanium Caravan scoreboard. Titanium Caravans tough on and off the field.
Young from full-back. The kick was touched. Floston's got it. And the player in the mark in English took a while to realise it was touched. So Floston from the back pocket got a nice long relieving ball out to the outer side wing. Punched out of the pack. Chase for the footy. Bailey Smith first there, but tackled beautifully by Pickett over the boundary line. Another boundary throw in on the outer side wing, right in front of the Shane Warne stand. Where are we going tonight again, Ash? Where are we heading?
Marvel Stadium, St Kilda taking on the Suns, and we also have Sydney versus Port Adelaide at the SCG.
Seconds into the final term here, and it is only a 5-point lead to Richmond.
And Curvis taps to the front. Taranto there, and he's claimed by Libba. Have another ball up on the outer wing.
Setting up with one behind the football at the moment, the Dogs.
Ball down. Smith tracking it. Cut off Taranto, then Cochin. The sub, he was activated early. He knocks it out to advantage. Now it might work out if Rowley can gather. He did. He got tackled. Dale. Spoke about him. 24 touches to three-quarter time. 2-minute mark of the final term. Tigers leading by 5. Triple M Titanium Caravan scoreboard. Titanium Caravans, tough on and off the field.
Yeah, not a truer word spoken, Big Tim. Ball thrown up in the air here. We've got about 8-10 players underneath it, and the umpire will ball it up again. Been slippery here all day.
So the Dogs are setting up 2 behind the football now off the stoppage. Daniel and Baker at the moment. So they're going to try and win this ball and feed it backwards if they can.
Richmond by 5 points. Neutral territory on the outer side wing. Bulldogs win it. McRae picks it up. Long ball to full forward. Norton's got rid of his opponent in Young. But the ball was wide and bounced out of bounds before he could get it. About 20 metres around from the Bulldogs' goal.
So they're doing that for 2 scenarios, Kate. They're doing it for one, the feed back and a bit of security that they don't get out at the front door through the stoppage, where they're pretty much done it a few times now, the Tigers.
So, City into the ground, Bulldogs end. Lob took it out of the ruck. Fresh area, then Treloar snaps to the hot spot. And a good spoil by Tyler Young. Game 3 for that man. He's been on Norton all night, and he's doing a fine job, isn't he, Kate?
Yeah, and at the moment, the Dogs are just going to get there in ones, just narrowing this lead by behinds at the moment.
Kick out here to the wing. Bolton through his fingertips. The ball heads to the boundary line. And does it go out of bounds? Yes, it does. Just the umpire said no. Bailey Williams grabbed it, dragged out in a tackle by one arm and dropping the ball. Free kick to Cumberland for the Tigers. Went to hand pass to Hopper, elected to kick forward to the wing. Bolton waits, marks. Pressure from Caleb Daniel wasn't enough. Good clean hands from Bolton. Under a bit of pressure with a kick. Pushed off it. He had nowhere to go. Found Rioli in the centre. Hand pass forward. Caleb Daniel comes the other way. Wrapped up in a tackle. He did well, the defender. And the umpire will ball it up about 55 metres around from Richmond's goal.
An important clean pick up there from Caleb Daniel under all sorts of pressure and just picked it up nice and cleanly to get the stoppage.
English over the top, only as far as Rioli. Handball's inboard. Sonsi out to the open side. We've got a big one-on-one. Martin!
Look at that.
He was on his back, and it landed in his lap.
Both players were almost hugging each other at one stage, and Martin, just at the right time, Kate, was able just to get that separation. Watching on the Harvey Norman replay here, just pushed off him, put his mitts up. He was getting dragged to the ground, and he was on all fours almost.
That's a great one-on-one, though. You just want to let that go, don't you? Just 2 blokes just having a real crack.
Great look at that one on the Harvey Norman. Martin's a picture of concentration for the first goal of this final term. On its way from 40. English. With centimetres in play, spikes it through for another minor score. So 10-12-72 the Tigers, leading the Bulldogs 9-13-67. Triple M Titanium Caravan scoreboard.
Bulldogs bring it back in quickly. Bailey Dale, long ball to half forward. Grimes runs back and marks at half back for the Tigers. Bob Jane T-March, Meggie.
Yeah, it's a patch-up dog for the Dogs down here because Anthony Scott's gone into the rooms. He had a knee knock just before 3/4 time. Crozier out of business.
Oh, Grimes has coughed up the kick. He's kicked it straight to Norton. Long kick to Bontempelli at full forward. Didn't mark. Off hands Grimes, last line of defence. Kicks out wide and Pickett punches it out of bounds. About 45 around from the Doggies' goal. Mickey down there for Bob Jane T-Marts. Of course, they have a great buy 3, get 1 free deals. Plus instant cash back, Big Tim. Call or order online today. T&C's apply.
Uncharacteristic there by Grimes coming in the corridor. Okay, he just set it up too much here. If you're going to come through the corridor, you've got to be low, piercing kicks.
It's a ball in. Nankervis takes it out of the air. English tackled him. Treloar feeds it back to McRae. Off a step to the top of the square. Lobs there. Kept his feet. Hannon stayed down. Snaps on the left. The Dogs are back in front. 10-13-73. The Tigers 10-12-72. Triple M Titanium Caravan scoreboard.
Well, they needed some reward for effort. They peppered the whole third term for no real reward, and then they've had the run of play the first few minutes of this 4th quarter. Finally able to get a kick through the big sticks. Arguably probably one of the toughest shots that they've had in the second half, And that was a beautiful finish from Mitch Hannon. 1 goal, 2 behinds for the evening. Easily the most important.
Reward for efforts. That's what they needed. They've put so much effort in getting the ball forward inside their forward 50 in the 3rd term and now in the 4th term. Now they've got to be able to make sure that they get some shots on goal.
For McDonald's and Ream Hot Water, Triple M rocks footy. Ream Hot Water built tough for Aussie conditions when it comes to water heating. Ask your plumber to install a Ream. Can the Bulldogs get it out of the centre again? They can. On hands and knees, Bontempelli. Hand pass to Tim English. Long kick to half forward. Big fly in the pack. And a push to Ugle-Hagan. He'll get the free kick as he flew for the mark. He's at true centre-half forward. 55 out. Pops it up to the hot spot for Norton through his hands.
Another push, Baz.
Another push, Jono. What did you see? It's going to go to Norton.
Yeah, another push in the back. The one was certainly there for Jamara Ugle-Hagan from Grimes, and now that one has come from, I can't see which player it was. I think it was
Nick Vlosten.
Nick Vlosten, just a push in the back. I think he was outdone by Norton. Norton got away from him, and he got there late in the contest and just pushed him straight in the back. We've seen so many umpires let them go, though.
He's kicked 2 so far today, Norton. 7.5 final term. Dogs up by a point. Dogs up by 7 points. The Doggies right back in business. 11-13-79. Richmond 10-12-72. 8 minutes now into the final term. That's all on the Triple M Titanium Caravan scoreboard.
It's all coming out of the centre at the moment for the Dogs. They got that all-important centre clearance after kicking that goal and then went straight back inside, forward 50. It was a push-out. Sorry, Jono, it wasn't Vlosten. I think it was Samson Ryan. Got the 2 hands in the back.
Right.
Pushed him straight into Vlosten. But clearances for the game, or centre clearances for the game, 14-7. Really on top in that area, the Bulldogs.
And that just comes to panicking because the ball came in so quick and he was caught out and he just didn't know what to do, and the only thing he could do was actually get contact in the back.
So back in the middle for McDonald's and Ream Hotwater. Ryan went early. English just paddles it out to Bontempelli. Big left foot ball inside 50. Norton couldn't quite. Front and centre Jones. Claimed in the tackle. Umpire says holding the pill.
Jeez.
Didn't have it for long. He was slung to the turf afterwards. Could have gone either way.
I think so. Just watching on the Harvey Norman replay, grabbed it, fumbled it a little bit and then tackled straight away. Should have been holding the man, I would have thought.
Spot on, Jono. Harvey Norman Super East to sail on now. Shop store wide. Deals hurry. Ends Monday.
Ball's on the wing out of side of the ground. Martin's at the bottom of the pack. He's going to be pinged. Free kick.
Thanks, Marcus.
We'll go to
Marcus. The free kick set up.
Tim English.
Yeah, that's the same there. Like Martin picked it up. He literally was tackled straight away. So they haven't paid him all night, Kate, like this. So now all of a sudden, in the last sort of 30 seconds, they're paying they're rewarding the tackler at the moment. So players should take note.
English will chip back to Josh Bruce. At halfback, he kicks across. It came from Liam Jones to Josh Bruce. Sorry, Big Tim.
Very similar, Barry.
Big Tim gives me a look sideways and says, come on, Bev, straighten up. Kicks it to the wing to Bailey Dale. Dale marks. And Dale kicks to the forward pocket for the Doggies. Up goes Lobb, slaps it down towards Arthur Jones, who broke a tackle. His kick under pressure, they'll go out of bounds on the full. Free kick in the back pocket will go to Big Ryan. 206 centimetres, you said, Big Tim, isn't he?
206, 103 kegs, Barry.
I've got him in the kegs division. I haven't got him in the height. 7 points up. The Bulldogs, 10.5 into the final term. Thank you, Jono.
Outside Ryan. Yes, just like Barry. Built tough for Aussie conditions when it comes to water heating. Ask your plumber to install a ream as the Bulldogs shout around. Trelaw in the wet, slipped over. He was claimed. Umpire lets it roll. Clark also tackled. This is a hot footy. Contested. McComb wrapped up on both sides. And the umpire pays another holding the ball.
How on earth is that holding the ball? He picked up the ball and got tackled. That was hotter than the last 2 that we commented on.
Kick back and squares it up to a pack of about 8 players. Still at centre half forward for the Doggies. They all look at the umpire. The ball's at the bottom of the pack. He's going to ping someone. They pleaded with him. And it's going to be a free kick to Bontempelli, the Bulldogs. So it was Vlossen at the bottom of the pack. He can't say much, but he wants to say plenty, doesn't he? Not happy.
That time he did just stick the mid out and drag it straight back under him, so he probably did have something to answer for there.
Bontempelli drops it onto his boots, 70 out, kicks to the pocket of Big English. He puts his hands up, didn't complete the mark. Arthur Jones has it slapped away from him by young Ryan. He slapped it to McIntosh in game 150 for the Tigers. Goes long outside defensive 50. Martin had nearly enough, but not quite. Liberatore picks up the spillage. He's 52 out. He puts it on the head of Norton in the pocket. Goes one hand. Ugle-Hagan tries to help him out. Ball close to the boundary. Out of bounds. 20 metres around from the Bulldogs' goal. They lead by 7 points. 12 minutes into the final term.
Forward 50s at the moment, 1 to Richmond and 8 to the Dogs. So the Dogs are really keeping their ball inside their forward 50. Repeat forward entries, really putting the Tigers' defence under pressure.
Another opportunity here for the Dogs. Ball in. Ground level. English ricochets out. McComb bumped off it. He got caught high. Oh, we've got to see that on the Harvey Norman. He holds his hands out, Gloucester, says, what more can I do in the wet? And McComb will go back for a set shot here to put the Dogs 13 points in the clear.
Well, I think the crowd just saw the replay and you can see what they think of it. But to be fair, McCody's head over the footy.
McComb leans back and puts it straight through the middle. It's out to 13 points at the MCG. 12 and a half minute stage of this final term. Triple M Titanium Caravan scoreboard.
Yeah, I think just at that time, McComb, he was playing the footy. Vlosten went the bump, and if you do get him high when you are going for the bump, it's always going to be paid. So that's the advantage of when you put your head over the footy and go for it, Jono.
Well, that's lower and harder, Kate. Lower and harder. McComb got lower and harder than Vlosten. Vlosten was up thinking he was going to receive the ball and come up, but he was fumbly. You've got to always think these conditions, no one's going to take it very clean. But certainly you've got to go back and kick those things, those goals. Not those things, but those goals. You've got to kick those goals when they're right in front. They're the pressure ones that are certainly you mark down your book straight away.
And these are low numbers for the Tigers since half-time. Martin 6, Bolton only 3, Cochin 3.
Red Z Lending stats, Ashley Chua. Red Z Lending loans for the self-employed, REDZED.com. For McDonald to Remont Water, Triple M Rocks footy. Tigers push it out wide to the wing from the bounce. Hand pass comes inboard to Bolton. Pontempelli is all over him. He slaps it out of bounds.
Yep, and I think two-man Damien Hardwick knew that Bolton hasn't had a whole lot of the footy. He injected him into that centre bounce there. Could have had effect there by taking the ball cleanly, but just fumbled it.
Ball will spin back into play. 55 around from Richmond's goal at the punt road end. Can the Tigers bite back? 13 points up the Bulldogs. 14 minutes now into the final term. Pack around the footy, slap down from the ruckman's hands. Bailey Smith's got it wrapped up in a tackle. The umpire to ball it up. Still 55 around from the Tigers' goal.
They've got to keep it here now, the Tigers. They've got to get a forward entry and they've got to lock this in for the next 5 minutes or so in their forward half.
Last goal for the Tigers came at the 27-minute mark of the second term. So it's been a long time, and that was off the back of 7 straight. They led by 14 at half-time. They've got an opportunity here at the 50. A little soccer off the deck. It's cut off by Richards. He shakes the tag. Ground level Ryan. Cut off Liberatore. His handball wide for Smith. He handballs it out. Oh, careful Baker. He coughed it up to Cumberland. Cochin. Little 1-2 with Taranto. They're going to mess around with it. Ralph Smith to Cumberland. Ricochets up. The big man Ryan took him on. Way out of his depth there, the big Ryan.
What happened, Kate?
Oh, he was on a treadmill. Someone put a treadmill out in the middle of the MCG and Samson Ryan was just trying to run on it and he just got absolutely nailed.
Bulldogs reclaim. Baker's got it for the Doggies. Kick to Ugle-Hagan. Another free kick his way, I would think. A shepherding one as he flew for the mark. So Ugle-Hagan is about 65 metres out from goal. Doggies, 13-point leaders. They're on fire. Kicks to the pocket to Hannon. It's punched out of bounds by Young for Richmond. And there'll be a boundary thrown, but Richmond, well, the Bulldogs lock it inside that forward 50 again.
And what we haven't seen from the Tigers this quarter, Kate, the link up by hands out of their back half. That's what they were so good in the second quarter. They were able to link up through the back half, have a wave coming through, but they just can't get their hands on the football.
Chris Johnson in the back row for Seabus Super, making hard work pay off as Ryan's now up the other end of the ground. Thought he was Usain Bolt moments ago. But he's in this ruck contest as Taranto's clamped by Bontempelli. We'll do it all again, attacking in for the Dogs. Ball up, Lobb takes it out of the air, snaps around his left shoulder, goes right to the line. Grimes collects his teammate and then the soccer through for a rush behind. They're peppering here, the Dogs. They're 12-14-86. The Tigers 10-12-72. That's all on the Triple M Titanium Caravan scoreboard.
And the Dogs are standing up. The Dogs are standing up. They're putting pressure. They're putting the Tigers under pressure. They're closing the space down. They're really getting their pressure acts up.
Well, the Tigers, long kick outside defensive 50 again, but again, straight to a Bulldog. This time Ed Richards squares it up inboard with a kick to Bailey Smith. Marks. Oh, big fly from Hannon, back of the packet, full forward. Didn't bring down the pill, and the umpire will ball it up. We're about 15 metres out from the Bulldogs' goal. Don't forget Marvel Stadium after this. The Saints and the Suns, the undefeated Saints, for our Adelaide audience to the SCG. Swans take on Port Adelaide. The ball kicked out of the pack and out of bounds on the full. So Richmond with a clearing kick from the ball up. and it's gone out in the full, which is going to create a shot on goal. Looks like Oscar Baker. Well, Bailey Smith wanted over there, hoping it was his. But he was turned away by the umpire.
Richmond just have not been able to get the ball out of their defensive 50 since half-time. They've had 21 chains from their defensive 50. Only 4 of those have gone inside 50.
So Baker for the Bulldogs. His kick won't be a goal. Cross the face, big leap, no mark. And the ball has rushed through for 1 behind. So now it's a 15-point lead to the Bulldogs, 17.5 final term. Ash, you predicted 55,500 here today. How many did we get?
Great crowd, 56,449.
He's always within 1,000, Ash. I don't know how he does it. No, he's serious. Yep.
Thanks for your support, Baz.
Chuffing yourself there too, man. As Young, loopy one over the top, Ralph Smith. Handballs to Rioli. He gets the Jets on. He puts the handball over the top to Bolton. Time and space. They're going to go coast to coast. Spilt Mark Cumberland, but he'll take it on the second bite. He wheels and goes. Slips on the kick. It's going to work out. As Taranto dropping back was collected high. He marked it anyway. And it was fortuitous in the least.
The big round arm. I haven't seen a round arm like that for a while.
Oh, look at Jono smiling.
I love it. That's great.
Seriously. Ireland won't even let him back in.
So 13-15 career set shots for this man. Snaps on the left. Make that 14-15. Taranto gets the much-needed goal. Their first one since the 27-minute mark of the second term. And all of a sudden, the margin back to 9 points here on the Triple M Titanium Caravan scoreboard.
Well, Chris Johnson called it. He said they needed more handball link-up out of the defensive half, and that's exactly what they got. And they moved the ball from defensive 50, Jono, all the way into forward 50.
Well, that's Tigers football. That's the way they play. That's the way they've won premierships playing this brand of football. When they get it in their forward half, it's being able to use it and kick it to advantage in the forward half. Ryan was out the back. They could have got it to him. Instead, they went short to Cumberland and they just worked it out. It was unorthodox, but they got there by the end.
Such an important 4 points for both of these clubs in round 4. Just the one win on the board for both. The Tigers, of course, with the draw in round 1. For McDonald's and Ream Hot Water, Triple M Rocks footy. And the umpire's balled it up and he'll do it again. So they flood in off the square now. A lot more numbers around this one. Still right in the middle of the MCG. English and Nankervis. Nankervis down towards Cochin. Bailey Smith worked him off it. Got it to Liberatore by hand. And Libba kicks a long high ball inside forward 50. Barging through. Grimes went without the footy. Trelaw, little toe poke off the ground. Tigers under heat. Picked up by Bolter. Rush kick outside defensive 50. Comes out to the members' side. Bouncing ball. Opportunity to double back in Clark. Clark hand pass to Ralph Smith. Approaches the wing. Little one over the top to Cumberland. Caleb Daniel coming off half back again. Finds his way to the footy and takes the relieving mark for the Dogs.
Well done by Cumberland there. He was almost going to commit to that contest and it would have been a free kick or almost a report. He done well there.
Daniel from half back, driving ball in the Norton direction, off hands. Taranto there, so too Rioli. Handball in board, Presti, a touch of the fumbles. Swooping on him was Norton. And then getting back there, did well Rioli. Got it up to Baker. Now they share around Cochin, Pickett, Taranto. Oh, he's bear hugged by Big English and slammed into the turf. And the umpire says, give it to me.
7 tackles, Tim, for Tim English. That's an equal PB, but you can also throw in 20 disposals and a couple of goals. Number 1 ranked ruckman in the comp.
So the lead for the Bulldogs is 9 points. So the game clock's the important one now. The time left, there's 7 minutes and 5 seconds left in the match. So plenty of time for the Tigers.
Tigers playing with a 6-man forward line. Dogs are playing with a 5-man forward line.
Ball thrown in the air. About 12 underneath it. English got a tap out wide sideways. Baker for the Bulldogs left it for Bailey Smith. Hand pass off to McRae. High ball out towards Lobb. The big man flies. Young with him for Richmond. Good one-on-one. Young brings it to ground. Tracks the footy first. Gets a little toe poke 30 metres along the boundary line out of side. Just forward of the wing. Ralph Smith's got it. Nice hands over towards Bolton. Low drop punt to half forward. Lynch comes out. spoils Caleb Daniel. The little man stays on his feet. He runs into the tackle and loses the footy. Martin's there to clean up. Runs into Bailey Williams. 60 out from Richmond's goal on the boundary line out of side. McRae's got it. Underground hand pass to Williams. Another one to Liberatore. Now a relieving kick back to the wing for the Dogs.
Big 2-on-2. Norton to the front. Jones was there. The ball took an unkind bounce. Scrambled out of there, Bolter. It's only as far as Daniel. He just pops it over the top of the hole. Beautifully weighted ball for Hannon. Now the little drive-by came from Smith. He goes right foot ball, Baker. High ball, Ugle-Hagan. Well done, Pickett. The big spoil spikes it out of bounds in front of the Ponsford stand.
That was such an important spoil because AJ had turned around and got right at the fall of the ball. There was no one near him. If it came to ground, he was going to kick a goal.
Well, that's where Scott's got to come across and not allow him to jump third up and give Jamara Ugle-Hagan a chance to beat Grimes one-on-one.
Right next to the Dogs' point post. They have a 9-point lead at the City and they are. Can the Tigers work this out? Liberatore tackled, lost it. Ball spills to Bailey Smith. Broken tackle, 40 out. Cross the body under pressure. It'll land in the square fist on the footy. Vlosten. A rush point to the Bulldogs. They go out to a 10-point lead. 10-point lead, 23 final term, 5:47 on the clock, Big Tim.
Still time in this one, Baz, as they build from half-back. Taranto tackled on the kick. Jones did well. Just caught the drop of the ball before Ryan. That's experience. As he floats one over the top, back with the flight, Cumberland. Spilt the mark. Hannon on his hammer. The cavalry arrived for the Bulldogs. Hannon still working at ground level and then taken towards the line. It was Richards. Out of bounds in front of the MCC members. The Dogs leading this by 10 on the Triple M Titanium Caravan scoreboard. 23 and a half gone final term.
Inside forward 50s, Bulldogs 12, and only the Tigers have been managed 3 inside forward 50s for this quarter.
Nankervis tapped down but straight to Liberatore. Hand pass Scott, kicks the Bulldogs back inside forward 50. Open forward line, bounces to the forward pocket. Rioli first there for Richmond. Hand pass off to Young. Under heat. He kicks it out towards the outer side of the ground. A race for the footy. Baker for the Bulldogs will get there first. Right on his hammer is young Clark. Baker hand passes back into the field of play. One way then the other. Young Arthur Jones going at it for the Bulldogs. Lays a tackle. Ball say the crowd. The umpire just said let the boys play. It spills out to Taranto on the wing. Hand pass to Dusty Martin. Caleb Daniel got in the way. Shoved it out to McRae. In fact, it's Bailey Dale. Dale kicks back the half forward and Baker has taken the mark. Fall to the wing out of side for the Dogs.
He had Hannon on, but he held it up and now he pumps a high line one towards Norton. Ball to the back. Nervous moments. Vlosten, cool head. Got it up for Bolter. He darts a ball outside 50. Sonsi on the bounce. Back in the side this week. Clean hands to Cochin. He drives a drop punt towards Cumberland. There's a man all on his own in Lynch. He took too long. And then he fell over on the kick and spilled it straight into Bailey Dale's lap.
I think he just didn't know he was there. He thought, oh, I've got to hold it up because nobody's there. And then he sort of rushed it, and that's how he fell over. But certainly, Lynch was out.
So the mistake he made is he pushed back off the mark. He should have just rolled and gone instead of having to change momentum, which is exactly why he slipped over.
Time slowly running out for the Tigers, I feel, Kate.
Yeah.
3 minutes 50 left on the clock. The Bulldogs lead by 10 points. They've got possession. Richards kicks forward to the wing towards centre half forward. No mark taken. Fall of the ball. Rioli got tackled off the footy. Tigers have got the numbers out here. Bolter slaps it out the side of the pack. Liberatore's got 3 to beat. And he did. Hand pass off to Bailey Smith. He did. Smith now another one to lob. Short kick to Arthur Jones. And he marks in front of the members 65 metres out. Jones looks at Ugle-Hagan in the pocket. And that's where he goes. Flying from behind his teammate Norton, brings it to the ground. Ugle-Hagan goes again. Barges through the pack, claims the footy. Hand pass out towards full forward. Vlosten getting away. He tries to shove off Hannon, but Hannon shoved him through for a rush point for the Bulldogs. They lead by 11 points.
Thought Jones probably could have rolled and gone there to Bailey Smith. He had the overlap run by the time he waited to get back. Tigers just had weight of numbers back in their defensive 50.
3 minutes in this one. They trail by 11. As Rioli finds Clark. The young man at right half back. He lowered his eyes down the line. Hopper back in the side this week. He takes the game on. A right football popped into the hole. Good build up here. Baker. He looks inside. Nothing on offer. So he just dances out onto the right boot inside 50. Good one-on-one there with Bruce. Cochin, handball over the top, cut off Richards. Now Cumberland, a little spark. The barometer puts it to the top of the square. Sonsi there, doubles back, and then coming through the big tackle laid. It was heavy moments. They were under siege there, the Bulldogs, and they hold up in defence.
Well, this is it for the Tigers. 2:15 on the clock. They trail by 11 points, and the boundary throw-in's right against their point post at the punt road end.
They need movement.
Spins in. Nankervis in front, shoves it to the front of the pack. Cumberland tried to barge through with the footy. And players stand in tackles. Liberatore, no surprise there. Thrown up in the air. Nankervis again down to ground level. Treloar tries to shove it out of the pack with a short kick. Oscar Baker's been good. Got it. Clark right on his hammer. The pressure sees the ball out of bounds. Again, 45 still around from the Richmond goal at the punt road end.
2 minutes on the clock. It's up the attacking end for the Tigers. As Barry said, they trail by 11. A goal here would make things very interesting as the ball back in. English and Nankervis. Ball sits up on the point. Nankervis dropped it in the tackle. Numbers with the Dogs, swooping on to Baker. And he's taken to the turf by Nankervis. We'll have another ball up on the 50. A minute 49 on the clock. Ball in the air. He taps it out. Bolton lurking. Clean hands. He gets a left foot ball into the hot spot. Jones flies. Norton there. He's gone back to help out. Daniel tacking low in the tackle. The umpire says, give it to me. 40 metres out here from the Tigers' goal.
They need a return here, the Tigers. They just need to get a flyer going through the contest here and just get the ball forward.
Well, Nankervis stepped down to Cumberland, who tried to barge through the pack, ran into a sea of Bulldogs. Bailey Dale got it to Joe Hannison, pushed off the kick, only runs along the ground about 15 metres. Rioli had it, his kick smothered, still 40 out from the Richmond goal. Cumberland goes again, Swiss spins out of the tackle, tried to hand pass to Baker, who was under heat. Well, barging through, Martin was dragged to the ground. The ball underneath about 6 players. The umpire trying to let the boys play. Rioli went low, and Joe Hannison grabs the footy, tackle taken to ground. Still 40 out from the Richmond goal. 1 minute, 5 seconds left to play, and it's an 11-point lead to the Bulldogs.
Back in the air, Nankervis goes early, taps it out. Bontempelli, slippery pill. Libber's there. Knocked out of their hands. Ground level, Daniel shovels it out the back door. Hopper, a high one on the right. It's going to go to the top of the square. Norton flies. Ground level, Bruce dives on top. Tackled. Locked in. 15 out from the Tigers' goal. 44 on the clock.
Tim, Toby.
Cumberland looks like the only type here to get something out of this stoppage.
So ball down English. Swooping Taranto. Got it to Bolton! Miracle goal from Bolton. He was lurking out the back of the pack like a thief in the night. And the margin back to 5 points here at the MCG.
Bit of an error from the Bulldogs defenders there, or probably the Bulldogs mids. They all wanted to be in and around the contest. You just have to be locked down there. Everyone needs to find one. They all hunted the ball and left. There was 1, 2, 3, 4 of them on the Harvey Norman replay that could have arguably kicked that goal. Bolton was the one that Taranto got the ball to, and he ended up slotting it, but that is poor from the Bulldogs' defence.
Noah Cumberland was the next one in line there too, Kate, so they just had almost a ring sitting around outside of that stoppage. Smart work by the Tigers, fed the ball backwards. Most important, this clearance now, they need to get it forward quick. They should know that there's one-on-one forward.
33 seconds left in the match. 33 seconds.
Warning, Richmond.
Warning, Richmond. Means nothing now. 5 points up the Bulldogs. The umpire will throw it into the air. Can Richmond get the clearance and put it inside? Ball up in the air. The seconds tick down. Bontempelli out of the centre. Oh, he's pushed off his kick. It's gone out wide towards Clark and Joe Hannison. Rioli, third man in. Picks it up. Hooks it back to half forward. Cochin underneath it. There with Richards. The ball will go out of bounds on the full. Out of bounds on the full, and that'd be the game you'd think. Richards will bring the ball back in with 17 seconds left on the clock. The rain teeming down at the MCG. Richards plays on, drills the ball about 50 metres. Offhands it spills to Nankervis. Just hopes by kicking into the corridor, sliding to his knees in the wet, Here's Scott who marks for the Doggies. 5 seconds left on the clock. The Dogs will win. 5 points up they are. And Ugelhagen, does he mark on the siren? No. The Dogs win by 5 points. 12-17-89. Richmond 12-12-84. The Doggies have done it at the G. Well, a ripping win for the Doggies, an amazing game of footy. It could have gone either way. In the end, the Bulldogs hang on. Ash, big numbers.
Big numbers inside 50s, 64-47 Richmond's way, but Bailey Dale 30 disposals, 11 intercepts, Bont 25, 11 clearances, and Liberatore busy 23 disposals and a couple of goals, and Rioli Daniel 29 touches, leading ball winner for the Tigers.
All right, we'll take an on-ground interview, but just a couple of comments, Kate and Jono.
The Dogs were just impressive for me. They were out of the contest, got themselves back in the contest. They're really maturing.
Well, an incredible game in the end. We thought it was over both ways during the game. Both sides had their chances, and in the end, it's the Dogs who hang on. Marcus Bontempelli is with Sarah Jones, courtesy of Fox Footy.
Knowing that you really had to get the centre clearance because they were coming for you.
Yeah, it was pretty crucial. I think you probably try and put yourself in their heads a little bit, knowing that they need a quick clearance. You know, we saw there was probably 30-odd seconds to go. And you do probably just try and risk manage as much as possible. You know, they want to probably try and hit the ball outside and get through quick. So you just got to have that little bit of defensive edge and hope to just get it your way and come off the side, but it was better than nothing.
How taxing was that game? Extraordinary conditions. The rain was on and off, and then you were a few players down.
Yeah, it was. I mean, you know, the second quarter we'll look back on and be disappointed with. But I think when you talk about growth, you know, we've probably lost those games in the past. We've given up, you know, leads and given up momentum, and the other teams have run away with it. So the third quarter was super important for us, just to get back to fundamentals, get the game back even, and then we come away with it.
What about how well your backline was able to stand up, losing Alex Keith really early in the game and Hayden Crozier a little later? How proud are you of them?
Yeah, super proud. I think we've been trying to, you know, be the team we know we can be, and a lot of that is, you know, just coming forward defensively, putting pressure on opposition teams. So you got to play with that little bit of, you know, anxiety of coming forward and leaving your opponent, and it's something our backs have been doing incredibly well. And under duress, losing two of our probably starters, I think they did really well. Bailey Williams went back there for a bit, Anthony Scott, so you just got to find a way.
So you square the ledger now. Do you feel like you can start to build into the season from here?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you try and wipe those first sort of 2 weeks as much as possible and look like each week you just want to be starting again, basically, and reasserting yourself on the opposition, on the competition. And, you know, another good showing tonight. Some really good stuff came out, some things we probably haven't had the last few weeks. So just continuing to build as we go.
Are you excited for Gather Round? We're all heading off to Adelaide and you guys play the Power. It will be a really interesting week.
Yeah, it will be. Obviously something new and different. You've got to always be open to those sort of things, but, you know, to be a bit of carnival of footy is probably the terminology about it. So our first sort of away trip of the season, which it'd be great to get away together.
What are your plans for Easter Sunday?
Be with the family, that's for sure. Hopefully the weather's a bit nicer. I don't think the forecast says that, but just all together, embracing each other again.
We'll go enjoy some chocolate Easter eggs. You've certainly deserved them. You'll be
there's
incredibly
the
tired.
What a ripper, and 5-point winners with the Bulldogs. So Macca's I'm loving at moment. It happened tonight at the 6-minute mark of the final quarter. Here's how we called it on Triple M Footy.
Nankervis takes it out of the air. English tackled him. Chalor feeds it back to McRae. Off a step to the top of the square. Lobs there. Kept his feet. Hannon stayed down. Snaps on the left. The Dogs are back in front.
That was the one that probably got him over the line, Hannon. Big Tim just nods his head. He knows that was good. Well played, Big Tim. Don't forget at Macca's, score points and redeem rewards when you order Mac Delivery via the My Macca's app, available in selected locations only. Exclusions and fees apply. See in-app for details. The Triple M Amy review. Who covers clangers on and off the field? Amy does. Jono, I know, Kate, you've got the votes tonight. So, Jono, just your thoughts about the opportunities that the Bulldogs and the Tigers had today. And, of course, the Bulldogs now turn with 2 wins for the season. The Tigers, after 4 rounds, 1 win, 1 draw.
Well, I said they were impressive, Baz. The way they turned it around, it looked like the Tigers were coming. The support, the crowd was right behind the Tigers. But to do it with a couple of men down, they had to make some subs and they had to take a couple of guys off. You know, Tim English as well, I thought he rose to another level tonight. I thought that was fantastic. Bontempelli as well. But I thought Jamari Ugelhagen and both Norton and their tools down there, Lob, what they did, they probably didn't get the results on the scoreboard, but what they did do, Baz, is the competitive edge that they had in the air. All they needed to do was compete, not get pushed off the contest, but compete in the air, bring it down. And I thought coming in and playing a little cameo role was Mitch Hannon as well. He kicked 1 goal in the last quarter. Norton kicked 3. But their whole forward line worked really well. And I thought little Arthur Jones showed a little bit of spark, what they've probably been missing in the probably lead up into this season. And for the first couple of rounds, he was good.
Triple M MVP award for New Holland. Kate McCarthy will get to that shortly. End of financial year. Track the sale on now. Visit your New Holland dealership. Ash, Choice Hotels around the grounds early today.
Earlier today, Adelaide defeated Freo by 39 points.
And tonight?
Tonight, we have the Saints taking the Suns at Marvel. One late change for the Suns. Out Jared Witts. In comes the debutant Ned Moyle.
Good on you, Ash, and for our Adelaide audience, you'll be heading to the Swans and Port Adelaide at the SCG. Whatever your reason for travelling, you'll get the lowest price guaranteed when you book direct at choicehotels.com. So go ahead, book it. Please, Kate, the Triple M MVP award for New Holland. How'd you see it today?
1 vote, Tim English. He had a new PB of 8 tackles, which is huge from a ruckman, 20 disposals, 6 score involvements and 2 goals to go with it. 2 votes, Marcus Bontempelli, another PB for tackles. He had 12 of those, 11 clearances, 6 centre clearances, 17 contested possessions and 9 score involvements to go with it. And I thought the best player on the ground was Bailey Dale, 30 disposals at 86% efficiency, 625 metres gained, 6 rebound 50s and 11 intercepts.
Can you see the Bulldogs going deep?
I think their brand of footy, when they play it well, stands up. I think they're a little bit too inconsistent at the moment. I think last game against the Lions, they were really good. I think this game, they sort of fell away in that second quarter, but their ability to wrestle back momentum in this game was very impressive. That second half was fantastic. I think their forward line still has some questions over it. I thought Norton and Ugelhagen were great today. I think Rory Lobb is the one that might be in trouble, though. I think he's just not really competing in the air the way that the other two are and around the ground as well. But, yeah, I think when they bring it and they bring it consistently in a game, they can stand up.
Kate McCarthy, you're a superstar before you walked into the box. That hasn't changed in the last couple of hours. Chris Johnson, as you nod your head, you know you played in 3 premierships and a 2-time Odyssey. Loves it. Look at the smile. He loves it when you say it. Tim Solly, that was a ripping call from you. Don't try to say otherwise. It was. Ashley Chua, you're an institution. Thanks. There'll be a statue built outside the ground of you one day. Mickey Roberts is a star. We thank our crew. Haven't they been fantastic? Jace, Jolsey, Paul and Leroy back in the studio. Baz signing off. The Dogs by 4 points for McDonald's and Remont Water. Triple M Rocks.